into the middle of the tri-oval. Start-finish line at Daytona International Speedway that this track was modeled after would be right here. But that's just the start of the restart zone at Talladega. Now they approach the start line and the green flag waves.
And don't forget, with qualifying canceled yesterday, they haven't been in these cars one time this weekend. Hope it turns.
Well, and right now, at the beginning of this race, you're going to probably feel the car bottom out when you get to the other end of the racetrack down here in 3 and 4. Big bump where the haulers go across the racetrack. You'll see them come up on that right there. So there it is. Big patch going across the racetrack. But these cars are going to bottom out a little bit. The drivers, I always was on edge just a little bit because I wasn't real sure what my car was going to do, and you know you have to hold it wide open.
Down the short chute into the 18-degree banking of the tri-oval. And the track flattens out as you get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, you see that third lane right there already starting to form up top. A whole bunch of cars up in the top. And I think as we see what these strategies are going to be for everybody to try to put themselves in a position as to what they want to do, it's going to all start to unfold. So you see,
well, and who
Austin
will pull
Dillon
up in front of it, right? Austin Dillon's pulling him, but the opportunity is coming for somebody in front of him. Do I go up there and block it and take the ride?
Yeah, and those guys have come from the back of the pack. You know,
yep.
Ross Chastain and you know, a lot of those cars up in that top lane. Austin Dillon all started towards the back of this pack, 24th for Ross Chastain. So they've made their way to the front quickly.
Austin Dillon from 18th to 5th on the outside with a pack of Chevys behind him. Here he comes. He wants to lead this thing.
And you see two teammates down on the bottom down there, and you see Chase Briscoe actually pull out.
I don't think that was on purpose. Either Denny got loose getting into the corner or something, and he moved up to keep from running him over.
Denny Hamlin in the 11 leads the first 2 laps with his teammate Ty Gibbs on his bumper. Middle lane Toyota Chevy, outside lane Chevys.
Yeah, and right now, that's as many cars in that top lane as you'll probably see here all day in that third lane.
Now, one thing that will do when you see it like this is it can gridlock if they're 3 wide. Not really a chance for any momentum and you know, a pull off of any other car for anybody else. It'll stall out. We've seen this before.
Hamlin led that lap by inches, but here they come. 12 rows deep, 3 wide.
You got the gyro cam here. You can really get a sense of how steep that banking is with this camera in Kyle Larson's car as we ride on board the Valvoline camera here.
Yeah, look at that. Level right back out.
And this part right here through the tribal is actually pretty tricky, Clint. And, you know, that very bottom lane actually doesn't have as much banking. A car really will get light as you go through there if somebody's tucked up right behind you, and the way that you transition in and out of that trial on the front straightaway.
On the bottom lane, yeah.
Now Briscoe went up top, then came back down to cover, and in doing so almost lost the lead to Austin Dillon, who's coming hard on the outside.
See William Byron right there in a 24 in that middle lane right there behind his teammate Kyle Larson as you watch Briscoe kind of shoot out in that middle lane in front of the top and bottom lane. William Byron needs something to go right, Mike. He's had a couple of weeks that have really been off of their expectations.
Still top of 3. 2 lanes work with those. Still top of 3.
Here's Kyle Larson's radio.
How much throttle is he running in front of me?
A little bit less than us. Remember to keep them tight behind you. It's not about the gap ahead, it's about the gap behind.
Keep an eye on that throttle percentage. This is a guy that's leading the middle line. Kyle Larson is only at 50. That's half throttle.
Yeah,
saving fuel.
And I think right now, you know, everybody's trying to understand exactly what they need to do for this really odd length 98 lap first stage. And you know that they're going to have to make pit stops and they're going to have to do all those things. And I think right now everybody's playing that cat and mouse game as far as whether they can stop once, twice, whatever the strategy is. But I can promise you the one on the left is going to go further than the one on the right, Clint.
Yeah. I think the math checks out, bud.
And that's the hard part about, you know, as we ride on board our poet cam here with Austin Dillon, that's the hard part about leading these lanes. Yeah, it's great, you know, for the three guys that are up here leading these lanes, but it is definitely not as efficient, is it, Larry?
Yeah, to make this on one stop, remember that was one of the options. You need to be about 55 to 60% throttle, and that's going to get you about 6.5 miles per gallon. The thing about it, every 15% of throttle you reduce, that's another half mile per gallon that buys you over the course of the run.
All right, well, that's at the front of the pack. So obviously they're doing that. Let's go back and look at SVG back here running clear at the back. Can he save any more gas?
No,
Kevin?
He cannot. And the reason, you want to be one car in front of him so that really what you want is you want to be a few cars. You want to be right in the middle of that pack so you can have somebody else pushing you, though. And you know, the
gotta
thing,
be careful not to lose that.
That's my point. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
And it takes one mistake, and all of a sudden you lose that whole pack. So it's this is not easy to do. And when you're playing that game in the back of the pack like that, you take a big risk.
All right, I know the price of gas is up all across the country, but Sunoco provides the race gas for these cars for free. So, Larry, give us the why. Why aren't you running full throttle right now?
We don't care about fuel mileage. We're just trying to shorten up the next trip to pit road, the pit stop, to be able to dump less fuel in it. We don't care how mileage or fuel saving. It's about shortening up the next trip to pit road.
And in this instance, eliminating a pit stop. I mean, right? I mean, it's going to take a lot to eliminate this pit stop.
Yeah, you've got to pretty much split it down the middle, 49 laps to run in this first stage, and that is a long way to go on a tank of fuel.
8 laps complete at Talladega. Denny Hamlin's led 5, Chase Briscoe 2, and Austin Dillon's led his first lap of the season. The greatest spectacle in racing, now less than a month away. The 110th Indianapolis 500. Don't miss the pageantry, tradition, and excitement of the world's biggest race. Sunday, May 24th on Fox. Here at Talladega, 11 laps complete. Knoxville, Tennessee's Chad Fincham has taken the Carl Long number 66 to the front of this race. He began racing at age 6. He was a Bandolero national champ, won in ARCA in 2016, and this is his second start of the Cup season. It's the first time he's led a Cup race. Jamie.
Listening to the front runners up there at 185 miles per hour. It's like a chess match right now. And on the radio, the spotter for Denny Hamlin, Chris Lambert, he told him you're going to need to pick it up just a little bit. The outside line is forming. They're gaining more power. They're coming to your outside. They also told him how many cars are behind him. So the drivers want to know what's forming and how hard they need to push. Certainly not 100% throttle up front yet.
Oh, Briscoe's got his work cut out for him. Did you see him slow that line down?
And here comes Cody Ware on the outside. It was Ware who spun and put last week's race into overtime, but team manager Tommy Baldwin said during the week that was on him. They left him out on track on 60-lap tires that might be good for 40 laps, just trying to get to the finish. So that was on the team manager. Cody Ware, I think, is one of the best improved drivers over these last couple of seasons, racing on limited resources, and he's got a chance to show you what he can do as he works his way to the front in the 51.
Yeah, and you see right there that right rear tire just basically ran out of tread and blew out. And when that car has the look of going up the racetrack like it looked like it was going to do, you have to throw the caution when the whole field is coming around the racetrack. That's right.
Yep. So here's Ware on the outside with Austin Dillon. Chase Briscoe in the middle. Chad Fincham leading the group on the bottom. 2 of the 3 have come from the back of the field to the front, as you see.
One thing I was wondering with Chase Briscoe right there, Clint, why in the scenario that we're in, why do you keep changing lanes? You know, you want to, I know he's trying to block and do all those things, but you know, with everybody trying to position themselves from a strategy standpoint at this point, it seems like you just want to pick a lane and stick with it.
And when you're doing that, it's causing you to put the throttle down and use more fuel. I agree. Ride in line, pick your percentage, and that way it helps the crew chief know definitively where we're at fuel mileage wise.
You saw Christopher Bell in the 20, Zane Smith in the 38, all trying to race toward the front. Here comes A.J. Allmendinger on the bottom in the 16. And Daniel Dye driving the 78 for B.J. McLeod, Larry.
Yeah, Mike, the Toyotas are being told we need to pick the pace up a little bit. But remember, if you want to do this on one stop and you want to only dump 1 can, you need to have 28 laps of this stage, 90 to 100%.
Xfinity Cam on board Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, and you can see right there, there's the traffic, Clint, the congestion, and from the driver's seat can be so frustrating when you know you have a really good race car and you look around and there's nowhere to go and your options, and especially with this car, when everything gets packed up and you're at the back of the field like Bubba is right now. At some point, you're going to have to play that track position game and get yourself towards the front of this pack.
We've got a breakaway. 8 cars at the front of the field have taken off. Single file. We may be separated into 2 packs by the time we come back. 16 laps complete at Talladega.
NASCAR on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance, revving up the savings on home and auto insurance.
20 laps to go next time by. 7 drivers have raced away from the field. It includes 3 of the Joe Gibbs Toyotas, plus John Hunter Nemechek, both of the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolets, plus Cody Ware.
Yeah, that's, you know, and you can go and talk about all the strategy and all the things that happen in the cat and mouse game and the repositioning of everything, but that's the part that I was excited about for today. We were like, oh man, now we're going to see what we saw before, and then all of a sudden these 7 or 8 cars out front that decided to pick up the pace, they have forced the whole field now to pick up the pace, and all that fuel saving is out the window.
Let's check with Regan.
Well, Mike, to you guys' point, I don't remember a race that I've had more conversations with the crew chiefs about having to be fluid today, having to change plans, adjust midstream as they go. One of those, Ryan Preece's crew chief, Derek Finley, he told me today we may have to be more reactive than we've ever been before. Take a listen to this radio. His plans may be getting ready to change.
I just need to know what our game plan is going to be as these guys have averted and started pushing pace. So if we need to go, you're just going to have to keep relaying me, or if you want me to stay calm, I'll stay calm.
Yeah, we're right there with all the Fords.
Don't want to do anything different right now. We've got all of our friends with us. We will relay if there's any change there.
Well, he's certainly got the right sponsor. If you're going to try to sneak up on the competition, building submarines.
BuildSubmarines.com, Cam, on board Preece.
I can tell you this. I know they're talking about not wanting to do anything different, but fact of the matter is they are doing something different to keep up with that front pack because they picked up 3 seconds.
I think they're forced their hand, right?
Yeah.
From 17th to 22nd is where most of those Fords are. Let's go up front to Denny Hamlin and listen in on his radio.
We don't need to worry about undercutting each other. We just need to all run it out here. Be on the same strategy. Run it hard.
19 wants to connect on exits. If you'll help back up for him getting square connected on exits.
You know, guys, I've been doing this broadcasting 26 years, and in 18 years as a crew chief, I have never, to Regan Smith, seen a playbook this big for one 500-mile race. But to Regan's point, I talked to Alan Gustafson, Chase Elliott's crew chief, the winningest crew chief active in the garage area. He said, Larry, everybody in here came here with a plan. We have no idea if our plan's right, but we have to be smart enough to adjust based on the competition.
Well, that's what's fun about it is, you know, trying to outfox the competitors, and those competitors are usually manufacturers, and then within your own walls at your organization, whether it be Gibbs or 2311, they're united. Hendrick, Penske.
Well, the cool part about it to me, Clint, is that they made this stage so weird, and now everybody's got these different theories, and you see all these different things that are going to play out down the road. So I love that.
Well, here's a different theory from that Rockstar Energy Drink Cam on board Tyler Reddick. He started on pole. He has faded back to 37th place, but he has the Xfinity fastest lap of the race at 192.3. The big question right now is, when will they pit, and how long will they have to be stopped for? Welcome back to the Jack Links 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. We've been watching Carson Hocevar, who's radioed into his team thinking he might have an issue with that car. He had a hand out the window just a moment ago here, but did not choose to come to pit road. Let's go to the pits.
Well, Mike, that 77 car, he's been complaining about how loose it is for Carson Hocevar right now since the start of the race. A few laps back said the ride quality's gone. I think I might have a tire going down, but I can tell you from the pits right now, the team is not getting ready. It doesn't appear that they're going to try to come to pit road, so maybe going to try to ride this out just as long as he can. Thanks, Regan.
Now, a couple of trends have developed here. 2311 started up front. They're all way in the back. So are the front row Fords. They're fast here, but they're out back, while the Gibbs Toyotas, you can see, are right up front, along with the RCR Chevrolets and the Colleague cars. So strategies are starting to show themselves.
Basically calling that garage area my home on Friday. I got a feeling that some manufacturers were even in this first stage looking at maybe doing different agendas.
Regan?
Well, Mike, one strategy that I know that a team or a crew chief doesn't ever want to hear is what's going on with the 45 of Tyler Reddick right now. Just a few laps ago, take a listen to what he radioed to the team as the pace started to pick up.
Power's just really inconsistent. I don't know if it's the nose like stalling on the ground or something. It was just very strange, that higher pace. But just like the engine, I don't know, it's just doing some weird stuff. It was doing weird stuff at that higher pace. Just power kind of going in and out.
It's always weird when the cars are spread apart like this, and then you get some spacing, and then you get somebody behind you and you pull up, and I don't know, Clint. I think a lot of that is probably just the way that the wind is buffeting around in the scenario that we're in right now, because the pace is actually up pretty high as we ride on board our Toyota racing cam right here with Riley Herbst. So you see Reddick back there,
but listen to the pitch of that car. And you hear that and you get used to that pitch. And when the air's moving around and those runs are coming at you in a different way, that scenario you were talking about, that pitch changes. And when you hear that, you think immediately something's wrong with this engine.
And I always told him my engine ran bad anyway.
Why?
Well, I wanted a better engine.
Okay.
We had to keep them on their toes,
the
Mike.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease,
yeah,
Mike.
keep them working. So I always told him my engine was terrible.
You must have been such a treat to drive for.
Well,
fire and pit crews, engine builders.
We got to keep them. We got to keep everything high level.
Hey, it worked.
Denny Hamlin started third, Chase Briscoe fifth, Ty Gibbs ninth, and John Hunter Nemechek 23rd. Those are the four Toyotas out front. Then the Chevys, Cody Ware, Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, and Ty Dillon and A.J. Allmendinger for Colleague. So 5 Chevys in a row behind them, though there's a gap that second group is trying to fill right now.
Yeah, and when you get those, let's see, there's 7 cars in that front group. 7, 8, 9 cars right around there is about where you can optimize the cars being able to have the maximum speed to where you don't have that accordion effect. So that first group's got a nice number of cars in it to be able to do that.
You start seeing them pit crews get up, get stretched, get their helmets on and on the ready. Tells me action's fixing to pick up on pit road for some of them.
And let's face it, and we've talked about this with Ryan Blaney's team and so many other teams as we've gone through the first part of the season. Today, I mean, there's a great possibility that this whole first stage runs green. So you make a mistake on pit road, you're going to put yourself in big trouble as you go through the rest of the day.
Certainly. When these cars are out here running, covering a football field a second, any miscue on pit road can take you out of that front pack and put you all the way to the back. Ryan Blaney in 12th place. Here are his Chipotle real results at Talladega. It's been his best track for wins. He has a total of 5 career drafting track wins. And this is his 300th start for Roger Penske.
So Larry, as I'm watching those pit crews, some of them, not all of them, starting to get ready, right, gets himself prepared here. 32 laps, 33 laps into this race. There's a couple of different scenarios, obvious.
Yeah, there he is, because you got a 14-gallon dump can, and it takes about 6 to 7 seconds to empty that can. Now, 98 laps is basically 2 full loads of fuel. You would think most people will go ahead and do 4 tires if you're one stopping it. I even had some crew chiefs tell me I may not do that. I may want to shorten up my stop by pulling my car closer to the wall and not worry about left side tires. Once again, the playbook is huge, and do just 2 tires.
Wasn't it Mike Tyson who said, every great plan until you get punched in the face?
Yeah.
If you're see a hand on that 6-car Keselowski.
Yeah, and I think those guys are just trying to get themselves together, and they're making space for the cars to get down, and you see all those Fords lined up right there. So this is going to become a different game as we start to get ready to get to pit road, as to who wants to pit with who and all the things that you want to do from that side of things to strategize and get to pit road with the right cars.
Well, and to get to the bottom of the racetrack, you've got to start navigating down so you can even make that stop. We've seen a lot of problems, especially with no practice, no entrance to pit road, all the things that you work on a normal weekend. These guys haven't even been in these cars.
And we talked about that water earlier. As you get to pit road, you got to make sure that you don't get in those seams and do what SVG did in the fall race here, and Zane Smith off of pit road spin out. So you got to be on your toes. Get to pit road when you haven't done it, and you haven't had any practice, you haven't done anything, and you just get out here and race and have to get right to pit road. These guys make it look easy, but it is not.
Fastest lap now, Michael McDowell running at the back with Tyler Reddick, and they bumped the fastest lap up to 196.3 as the pack now reforms and comes back together as just one long snake uncoiled around this 2.66 mile super speedway. There's the Monster Energy cam there on board Ty Gibbs, looking ahead at Chase Briscoe in second.
Yeah, I look at that fastest lap, Mike, and I look down at the board, and Michael McDowell's next to last. So you can tell where the biggest hole in the air is, and that's at the back of the field. And that's, you got to remember, too, fastest lap means something.
Gunk, cleaner degreaser, putting the onboard camera on board Michael McDowell this week. He's got a great view of the whole field. McDowell was very upset that qualifying was rained out yesterday because he expected to be in one of the front 2 rows.
And
he's got a fast car.
Yeah, and he knows that. He knows this is an opportunity for that 71 team at Spire Motorsports to be able to win. So you got to take advantage of your opportunities, and Michael McDowell knows this is one of them.
We're coming to lap 37. I think business is about to start picking up on pit road in the next few laps.
Yeah, I've been watching, some RCR cars, Hendrick cars getting lined up and established in a situation where they could make that pit.
Well, right now they're.
As I say that, this car's on the outside.
I was going to say, right now they're in the top lane as we're on board with Kyle Larson right here. So it's you got to get in the right spot, but sometimes you get stuck in this outside lane and your plan goes out the window because you can't get to the bottom with all the group of cars that you want to pit with.
Larry, any concern in the Denny Hamlin camp? Is there a danger to leading all these laps?
Well, the danger is he's been pretty much wide open ever since he about took the lead. So he's using more fuel. That's going to mean they're going to have to dump more fuel when they make that pit stop.
Yeah, and I think anything that, as you see that front group start to spread themselves out again, you've got the middle of the pack kind of mixed up back in the middle, but this front group has been pretty consistent, wanting to put themselves and keep themselves out in the front.
Yeah, there was a big group coming hard on the outside, looking to move that bottom lane to perhaps set up for this first stop of the day under green.
Denny is still playing with the throttle. He's 100% a lot, but he's still rolling out periodically.
Yeah, and I think some of that is just trying to control the spacing from the car behind him. You don't want to get yourself too far out there in front of that second place car, because then you start that accordion process. So you kind of breathe the throttle a little bit to try to keep the space from the back bumper to the car behind you so that it's not too far of a distance.
Joey Gase in the high groove going a lap down. As we're into the fuel window at 40 laps.
Seeing that whole group now start to form back together. Doesn't take long for it to all get back into one pack.
Comes Ty Dillon.
By himself and without a drafting partner leaving pit road.
Yeah, that is definitely not how you want to plan it out, to come to pit road by yourself. So possibly an issue with that car, or very conservative strategy, not wanting to pit with everybody else in case they have an accident or something along those lines.
Or perhaps a missed signal. We don't know.
There we go. Seeing hands out the window on the leader, Denny Hamlin.
All right, looks like those Toyotas are stopping, and I think those Chevrolets in the lead pack may be coming with them.
Yeah, sometimes you form new dance partners as you go throughout the day, but it looks like they're going to come to pit road. No mistakes. Got to get on the pit road. Don't run into anybody. Stay out of the water. Don't slide a tire.
Eight cars come to pit road. And that moves the Fords to the front of the pack, led by Ryan Preece and his team owner Brad Keselowski in the 6.
See a lot of smoke out of that 19 car right there.
Now the cars leaving pit road will be pretty well formed up together. And they include the Toyotas and the RCR Chevys and Collin Racing and Rick Ware Racing.
And Mike, they did exactly what we anticipated. Fuel and 2 tires.
Denny Hamlin too fast entering pit road.
Well, this is exactly what we talked about getting to pit road. You cannot speed getting onto pit road. You can't slide through your pit box. All these things that just happened in that first cycle of pit stops, now you're behind the 8 ball for the rest of the day.
And the worst of it is, if we stay green, he is going to have to come down pit road for a penalty drive at 55 miles an hour while everybody else is doing 192. Another penalty, a safety violation on Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, this is
He was that first box, came in and slid. I saw it was a long stop, and watch this. See, he's on the outside. Oh, man, hits the tire, wipes out the carrier. Guy's back up on his feet, but he totally missed the box coming in.
Yeah, this is definitely quite the diabolical situation for Joe Gibbs Racing. Just a disaster on that first pit stop.
2 of their 4 cars having trouble. Briscoe had trouble on a green flag stop at Daytona in the season opener as well.
And this has really been the story of the year for the 19 car. They've had some trouble with some parts and pieces, but it's just these mistakes that happen during these races that take them out of contention every single week. And now you've got a mistake and a penalty on top of that.
Well, as we said in the open, rule number 1 of green flag superspeedway racing is make no mistakes.
Don't beat yourself, Mike.
Fords at the front, 5 of them. RFK, the Wood brothers, Penske, and Front Row. Then a big group of Chevrolets and Bubba Wallace's Toyota.
And right now you see the pace on the timing and scoring as fast as we've seen all day. You see some low 49-second laps. So that's what these guys want to do. They want to take advantage of making the pace as fast as they can to try to, when they pit, try to get as far ahead as possible of the cars that have already been on pit road.
Well, obviously them having that trouble, look what it did to that line. And obviously, if you look up here in your pit map, the 54 is leading that brigade so far, but without a Denny, without Briscoe.
Yeah, you went from 8 or 9 cars to 6, right there in 6 or 7 in that first pack, and now you've got all these cars getting ready to come to pit road here.
Chevrolet pack of mostly Chevrolets coming in for a fill-up with Sunoco race fuel with Poet Zero Carbon Bioethanol. And some, not all probably, will get fresh Goodyears as well. Trackhouse and Hendrick in, while the Fords continue to run long. Kyle Larson stopped, right sides, and they're going for 4.
Well, and
hard. Let's go.
In this scenario, Larry, I mean, at some point you got to take your medicine, right? You either got to get it full now or you got to suffer later, correct?
Well, if you make a pit stop and you wait on getting it full with 4 tires, it's going to take about 15 seconds. You still should be 7 seconds in front of the pack.
And you can see them blending back up. That's that original group. The 54 is leading it in Gibbs. And there's the Chevrolets coming on, blending up.
But this race has fallen right into the laps of the Fords by design. Evidently, they're not losing any time to the cars that have stopped, so they're still out there.
Yeah, and right now they're getting a tow off of the cars that just came out of the pits. So now they're coming to pit road, but they've taken every advantage that they had, and
right.
It worked out perfect for them.
8 of the first 9 are Fords. Bubba Wallace, that purple number 23 in the middle of them, is a Toyota.
And this is the cooperation that we've seen in the past out of the Fords. They've done a good job. They missed it, right? They missed it in Daytona this year and learned from their mistakes.
Whoa, 4 or 5 wide getting onto pit road.
Well, the thing you see right here, there are some Chevrolets and a Toyota right there mixed in with this group. So that's a lot of cars to get to pit road right there.
Cindric just got a big bump.
Yeah, he missed his pit.
Missed it. Noah Gregson got into the back of him, and he was unable to get to his pit stall.
Yeah, it's not every day that you come down pit road 3 wide. You see another mistake in the first pit box right here.
Didn't get the fuel in it all the way.
A lot of odd exchanges right here with all the mistakes and everything that we've talked about not doing. But Ryan Preece, I don't know how much fuel they got in that car, but he backed up to fuel it some more.
You practice all week and you plan all season for this. And look at the difference in the closing rate as the cars at speed come zooming around the cars that just left pit road. Remember, you're not allowed to blend back up in until you are at race speed so that you don't impede the cars on the racetrack.
Well, the thing that we've learned, guys, is we saw 3 different strategies and they all came back out on the racetrack right together.
Another miscue. Daniel Suarez started to leave his pit. They went, no. Made him back up, tightened the wheel, and away he goes.
Yeah, and Austin Cindric back on pit road now from missing his pit box all by himself. So another situation.
And those are the mistakes you see. Again, no practice coming on the pit road. We saw some of that, saw speeding. The fundamentals is what will bite you at this place with all this hectic, crazy stuff going on.
All right. I can't believe the number of problems we've had on this first pit stop. It's the pit crews and it's the drivers.
I can, Mike. I mean, it puts the pressure on them. And you drop the ball, right, with the fundamental things. You overlook them.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You haven't heard all of it. Zane Smith, uncontrolled tire. Riley Herbst, speeding. Daniel Dye, speeding. Chad Fincham, speeding. Wow. When the pressure's on, it gets tough here at Talladega. 49 laps complete. Ty Gibbs is the leader. 52 laps complete at Talladega. Ty Gibbs out front. You're watching our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven legendary. After pit stops, 2 Toyotas leading 4 Chevrolets and 1 Ford. In the top 7 after the wildest round of pit stops we have seen in a long, long time, Jamie.
Well, C.J. Bailey is the tire carrier for Chase Briscoe. Briscoe plowed into him, and you jumped up and completed the job. First off, I'm glad you're okay, C.J. What is that adrenaline rush like when you see that car coming into your box and you have to jump out in front of them?
Well, there's a lot of adrenaline. I think that's why I was able to hop back up. I was just trying to get across the box. Usually when I'm about halfway across, I can see the car, but I couldn't see him. So, like, I just tried to back up some, and by the time I was backing up, he was too far out and going too fast, so I ended up running to the car. The car ran into me, but I just tried to get back up and finish the stop as fast as possible, just because, I mean, we got to get back out there, so trying to do whatever it takes.
That's right. Well done. These are professionals. They train for those scenarios. Josh?
To add to the chaos we saw on pit road just there, the 2-car of Austin Cindric, when he came down pit road, tried to pit, he missed his pit box, and then when he tried to get down, it was too late. The 17 was in the way, so he had to come back down the next time around by himself to pit for tires and fuel. And came over the radio, said now he's going to have to burn more fuel just to catch the pack. So a tough break for the 2 who won this race last year, Regan.
Well, Josh, miscommunication on the number 60 car of Ryan Preece as well. The plan was 2 tires and to wait on fuel. They have been having some radio issues today, though, with static and things popping up in the driver's ear. Something happened when he was sitting in the pit stall. He thought it was time to go. Crew chief, though, just radioed to him and said, we think we're okay, but we are going to be in max save right now, max save, as he tried to calm down Ryan Preece. And the 5-car, Kyle Larson, also trouble with the handoff on the fuel can. There's some concern about if that car has enough to make it to the end. He's in max save as well.
Yeah, we saw his stop going to break, Regan, and here it is again. Watch the fueler with the second can. I don't think he's going to get it connected here.
No, it's the first can's hung up. See, it's hung up in between the can.
And here's their radio.
You had a really bad fuel exchange. We had a really bad fuel exchange. We didn't get enough fuel in it. Right now we are minus 11 from our target. Save what you can when you can.
Okay, I mean, I'm doing as much as I can.
So 1 round of green flag pit stops, 6 penalties on pit road, at least 2 drivers who probably didn't get enough fuel. What is going on at Talladega? 59 laps complete in the Jack Links 500 at Talladega. Ty Gibbs, just 2 races off his somewhat landmark first career win. Now he's got to come up and pass Denny Hamlin, Joe Gibbs Racing's lead driver, who, because of the penalty, would go a lap down if Gibbs makes the pass.
He ain't going to make that pass. We're going to pick him up and help him.
Yeah, and right now that's Denny. It worked out for Denny Hamlin to be able to have that happen with Ty Gibbs in that 42 of John Hunter Nemechek in the scenario right now. So he wants to do all he can do to keep himself right there in front of Ty Gibbs to stay on the lead lap.
Well, here's who's not part of that plan. 71, Michael McDowell. He's bringing those Chevrolets around the outside and is going to pass all those Toyotas if he can.
All right, let's breathe a minute. All right,
I don't know, Larry.
First green flag pit stop, we got about a third of the field that did right sides only. The rest did 4. Tires are really not an issue. Those pit stops happen between about lap 41 and 48. Depending on what they're saving, I think some of them are going to try to make it to the end. Some of them can make it to the end, but don't rule out flipping the stage, which what that means is coming to pit road before they close it with 3 or 4 laps to go, just to shorten up that stop at the end of the break.
Gibbs and McDowell behind Denny Hamlin, trying to stay on the lead lap. Now, this week, Clinton Ross Chastain pulled into Wendy's for a special pit stop. Ross brought his Victory Lane watermelon smashing expertise to celebrate the launch of Wendy's Watermelon Lemonade and Watermelon Sprite, available starting tomorrow. SVG and Connor Zilic had a front row seat for all the fun at Wendy's.
Yep, the fun spot. Man, that Baconator's good.
You like a cheeseburger, don't you?
Hey, Baconator. That's where it's at.
Denny Hamlin led 28 laps earlier. Now he's trying to hang on to the tail end of the lead lap. 65 laps complete at Talladega. Ty Gibbs held off a charge from Chad Fincham and Daniel Dye trying to get back onto the lead lap, and continues to run right behind Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe, who are at the tail end of the lead lap because they had penalties on the first pit stop. And the leaders are now right behind them with 33 to go in stage one.
Yeah, and that's a great point right here, Clint, is the fact that the 54 picked up the 11 and the 19, but also being able to run fast in third car back there is benefiting our leader, Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, it's a win-win scenario.
Jamie, what about those RCR Chevys up near the front?
Yeah, looking good right now. Austin Dillon running second. Right after we went back racing here, the first restart that we've seen in this race, Austin Dillon, his crew chief, told him he was back in 26th. He said, you've got to get us track position right now or we are going to throw everything out the window that we have built toward. He passed all those cars, guys, in about 6 laps. Up to second now. They said, just settle in here. You got a teammate, you got help with Kyle Busch, just a couple of cars behind him. Remember, this RCR team has not finished in the top 10 yet this season. This is the perfect place to get it done.
And Kyle Busch has had such great success here. He's one of only 2 drivers that has finished on the lead lap at every Talladega race we've run in this 7th generation NASCAR Cup car. William Byron is the other.
Be a huge momentum change, and man, he needs a win big time.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, that lead lap streak is great and shows just the capability of of guys like William Byron and Kyle Busch to be able to keep their car. That's where we're coming to pit road.
The Chevys come by with the lead. Dillon, Ware, and Busch. As leader Ty Gibbs peels off for at least right sides and fuel.
Yeah, it looks like that left side tire at the door right there. Going to put 4 tires on. Still waiting on fuel. You see him not let the car down until they get that car full of Sunoco fuel. They left that thing up on the jack to indicate to the driver to when to take off.
So leaving pit road, A.J. Allmendinger's Chevy, Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, and John Hunter Nemechek.
And then look at Briscoe. He didn't come with his teammates right there, but he's racing. If that caution comes out, right, he's racing to stay on that lead lap. Him making that mistake put him in a different scenario.
Larry stopping with 30 to go. Was that in your playbook?
Well, we had started hearing some chitter chatter about coming around lap 70, so that was really close to that. Now, right now, we pretty much have got 39 laps to go in this stage. What I'll be anxious to see is how much fuel they try to save, even though they can easily make it, to shorten up their next stop at the stage break.
Yeah, and that group that just pitted they came out all spread apart, so that's not going to be ideal for them. As you see, this pack still formed up pretty tightly. They're gonna put themselves in a position to where this pack is most likely going to catch up to them. But you see how spread out Allmendinger, Hamlin, Gibbs.
That'll take a while to get back together.
Yeah, and Ty Dillon, he's way back here right in front of this pack as we see more cars coming to pit road. A whole bunch this time.
Including those lead Chevrolets. More than a dozen come to pit road. Dillon among the first to stop. Looked like a couple of fuel-only stops there.
Oh, you see him 4 wide back there.
Michael McDowell's the first one off pit road with Hocevar, Suarez, then Dillon, Chastain, Busch, and the other half dozen.
Get collected and established as fast as you possibly can, single file. That's the name of the game on that exit.
Yeah, and you see them on the exit right there on the apron. You can hold that car wide open all the way around the bottom of that corner until you blend up onto the back straightaway.
Christopher Bell leads the pack into turn number 1. of the cars that have not made a second pit stop.
Yeah, and you see how far back right there those 4 cars are to that lead group, not being formed up. They lost so much time to the guys that just pitted. Ty Dillon right here, he's going to go a lap down because of his bad pit stop. These guys are going to go right on past him.
And I think I'd be right. That would put Denny Hamlin down 2 laps if they go by him.
Yeah, and the odds of coming back from 2 laps down are slim to none. But, you know, I think his hope is that these guys get to pit road and just stays that 1 lap down without any cautions.
Regardless of what that group at the front does, I like the lap times they're laying down right now, lined up in a single file. That's a good plan right there.
So a really mixed group at the front. Bell in a JGR Toyota, Byron and Bowman in Hendrick Chevys, Van Gisbergen for Trackhouse, and Eric Jones for Legacy. Ryan Preece with them for RFK. Bubba Wallace, every team's represented. Bubba Wallace for 2311. It's kind of like one each of everybody. A Whitman sampler of cars there in the lead pack.
And sometimes it just works out that way. And honestly, it really becomes a scenario where sometimes you're better off having it that way because you're not locked down to everybody else's agreement on a strategy.
And you did that quite a bit.
I did.
With Rodney. You didn't like lone wolf. We'll just handle this on
I can't get down, guys. I can't get down.
25 to go in stage 1. If the leaders pit, you'll see it as we take you Fox side by side at Talladega. Next Sunday, we're on FS1 from Texas Motor Speedway. It's the Worth 400 presented by Liqui-Moly. NASCAR race day 2 p.m. Eastern and the Cup race at 3:30 on FS1. NASCAR continues on the Fox networks. Here at Talladega, 77 laps complete. The front four, Christopher Bell's Toyota, and the Chevys of Byron, Van Gisbergen, and Bowman. Then Eric Jones' Toyota, Ryan Preece's Ford, Bubba Wallace's Toyota, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, that group of Fords that ran long on the first stop. The first 16 cars now have made only one pit stop. The rest of the field has made 2.
Yeah, and you see Chase Briscoe still pulling that group for Christopher Bell.
And that will keep him on the tail end of the lead lap. So at the end of the stage, 20 laps from now, he could overcome the speeding penalty from his pit stop if he's able to stay on the lead lap here. Larry, what's been the difference between some of these cars that have made that second pit stop? They seem a little spread out.
What separated them, some of them had to get into the second can, and that cost you a lot of time. But right now, Mike, when I look at, let's say, the top 5 or 6, all but Preece, most of them changed 4 tires. The 60 changed just 2. When I look at the length of their pit stop, it was long enough that they should have left pit road full, 13, 14, 15 seconds.
Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, you see right here on our Hunt Brothers pizza cam from the back of Joey Logano's car. Got plenty of strategy going on today.
And with those pit stops, that group of Fords that seems to stay together well on the racetrack, run from 6th to 12th and 14th to 16th. All pretty well together. Here's some Bubba Wallace radio.
Urgency to pass the 60.
Guys, what do we say about panicking? What else do you want me to do?
I know, I'm just relaying messages.
The next option, I can get out. One of y'all 2 can come drive this thing and show me how to do it.
I don't think I can get in, unfortunately.
Can't fit through the window or won't fit in the seat. Which is it?
Well, them spotter diets are a little different than the driver diet.
Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace there. With a little humor, 19 to go in stage 1. Christopher Bell out front.
Next week, NASCAR heads to the Lone Star State, where the Truck Series action starts on Friday on FS1. Then on Saturday, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series hits the track on the CW. And on Sunday, the Cup Series regulars duel on FS1.
84 laps complete, 14 to go in the stage. Now, Denny Hamlin is right in front of the race leader, Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs and the 20 Christopher Bell are his teammates. They don't want to pass him and put him 2 laps down. But what about those Chevrolets right behind the 20? William Byron is there. Shane Van Gisbergen, Alex Bowman. They would love to put Denny Hamlin 2 laps down, because if not, that's one of the cars you're going to have to beat today.
I think what might end up being their problem, their pace is too fast. To make this a one-stop, you need to be in the 52-second bracket. Right now, they're in the mid-49s. They're not going to make it without making another stop.
All right, so Bell is our race leader. Ty Gibbs trying to stay on the lead lap just in front of Christopher Bell as well. So Christopher Bell's got to uphold the honor of those Toyotas and keep those Chevrolets behind him.
Yeah, and if that plays out like Larry is saying, they're all going to have to come to pit road to get some fuel, and those guys are going to be in another interesting spot all by themselves.
You saw them go by Riley Herbst on the apron. Herbst made a stop and was speeding exiting pit road. Austin Cindric also made a stop. Remember, he was off sequence because of being unable to get into his pit on the first round. And here's the Ford Racing camera on Austin Cindric. He is now trying to recover from being 1 lap down, but he stopped by himself. No drafting partners.
This is why you can't stress enough the magnitude of mistakes. Those early mistakes on pit road really threw a lot of these teams for a loop and throws that strategy out the window, forces your hand to try to come up with something, think on your feet, and bail yourself out.
Larry talked about the pace. Christopher Bell just ran his personal fastest lap of the race, and so did William Byron and Eric Jones among those cars in the top 5. 12 laps to go in stage 1. Will anybody flip the stage? Stay tuned.
Lord, I just can't go out.
Pit stops in the lead pack here with 10 to go in stage 1. Fuel only for all 5 of the cars that stopped together. Eric Jones, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Alex Bowman, and William Byron all leave together. Chase Elliott is going to leave by himself about 5 seconds later. And that could prove costly. So the Fords cycle back to the lead and the first 5 spots. Priest, Buescher, Logano, Keselowski, and Blaney.
See those cars blending up on the back straightaway right now. Totally opposite side of the racetrack from where you see our leaders on the top of the screen up there. That's the difference in all this strategy that as we've seen everything play out over the last 89 laps.
This could be mission accomplished for Ty Gibbs and Denny Hamlin, because those leaders that were right behind them all stopped. I think they have enough of a gap to Ryan Preece that they should be able to get their lap back at the end of this stage. 1 for Gibbs, 1 of 2 for Hamlin. So now the first 10 cars, 8 of which are Mustangs, have only made one stop.
Nothing in front. Nothing in front. Still inside.
Teammates Preece and Buescher for Roush Fenway Keselowski run 1-2.
That's going to put Herbst 2 laps down.
8 to go in stage 1. Ryan Preece in front. Five laps to go in stage 1 at Talladega. They call submarines the silent service, but Ryan Preece is making some noise at Talladega. He is out in front of 6 other Fords, 8 in the top 10, plus the 2311 Toyotas of Wallace and Reddick. That's your top 10. You can see that those cars had only made 1 pit stop so far.
Well, look at here, Kevin. I'd say they fixed their problem from what we saw in Daytona collectively with the Ford camp.
Absolutely, and that was always their strength, as Bubba Wallace is on pit road. But I think that was the strength of what the Ford program did. And when we saw them all pit at Daytona, all split up all over the place with strategy, today looks like it's gonna pay off for him as you see that right rear lock up on Bubba Wallace getting into his pit stall.
See Riley Herbst running to the outside, trying desperately to get back. It's 2 laps down right now. Very important to try to get ahead of that leader and get 1 of those laps back. 1's easy, 2 is very challenging to get back established in this race.
Now note the double yellow line that separates the track from the apron. That's the out of bounds zone. And Herbst was found improving his position below the yellow line. That'll be another penalty. 3rd one of the day for Herbst.
Tight front, lapper 20 ahead. We're good. The 60 says he could be a lap short. The 6, 12, and 10 up top only.
And that transmission perhaps confirming Our thought that Ryan Preece did not get a full load of fuel on his one stop.
But Mike, the next time the leader goes across the start finish line, pit road will be closed, because if you're up there in that lead pack, if you're going to flip it, you got to come this time.
Yeah, and I think that's what Bubba Wallace probably just did, as we saw him on pit road. Now we're going to watch these guys race for the stage points right here.
A little bit in the middle, but it's close.
Unique part about this, as we come to 2 to go in this stage, is the fact that now the pack is a little bit smaller. You're not dealing with this massive pack that with all the energy and things. So the pits are closed, and now these guys right here have a lot less energy to work for with runs and things like that.
And look who's in front, Team RFK. They could block the track 3 wide and hold everybody back and score maximum stage points here if all goes well.
Yeah, the race is on now. These stage points are uber important to the outcome at the end of the year.
Preece, Buescher, and team leader Keselowski.
80%, and you can go hard the last lap if you stay 80 right now.
That is Ryan Preece's radio. Derek Finley, the crew chief.
Nervous about fuel making it to the end of this stage, Kevin.
Yeah, and that is not a comfortable position as a driver. When you're in that car, they're telling you to run 80% and also go get all the stage points.
Yeah, which one is it?
To lead.
And his boss goes to the front, Brad Keselowski. To the outside, rather, of Preece. Ryan Blaney with him.
Hold on to it. Reddick's a little bit out of control back there. Car got loose behind Ty Dillon trying to push him. Some energy coming on the outside.
Yeah, you see that outside lane is formed up right there, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to overcome these cars on the bottom of the racetrack.
All right, they're separated coming off of this for the final time here. Oh. Separation, look out!
Joey Logano, Josh Berry trying to make something happen there on the inside.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, Buescher stayed up on the racetrack and gave Logano the bottom like that, and he took it.
Green and white checker in the air, and Ryan Preece is going to win the stage. Over Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Chris Buescher, Ryan Blaney. Ford's in the top 6 spots. Reddick right in the middle of that blue oval parade for the first 9. First stage win of the season for the Berlin, Connecticut driver.
That's why 2311 hired him, because they expected him to be an elite championship contender. And when he was at RCR, winning races at RCR, left a year early from Richard Childress Racing to come to the 2311 team. Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan, they handpicked Tyler Reddick because his ability within the race car is elite, from a car control and everything that he can do behind the wheel.
That's the all-new Fox Sports Digital show Speed with Harvick and Buxton, fueled by Poet. Subscribe to Speed on Fox on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Tyler Reddick with a brand new contract extension announced here today. Great news.
That's great news for the team and him, because that just immediately gives them a little more confidence in being able to hire people, sell sponsors, everything. Jamie?
Well, Kevin, Joey Logano's pit crew has been climbing the ranks, going in the right direction. They're third best on pit road, but what's most important, they have not made a mistake this far through 9 races. Let's meet Team 22.
Nick Hensley, fueler. I've been with Penske since 2006.
Joe Dilley, front tire changer, 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Jeremy Ogles, tire carrier, 2-time Cup Series champion. Ty Snelson, Jackman. This is my 2nd year in the Cup Series.
Jake Seminara, I'm the rear tire changer, and I used to be a baseball umpire.
And they come in third behind Preece and Keselowski. There are the pit crew rankings. Coming into Talladega.
It's absolutely amazing what those guys can do on pit road. They have perfected this thing. Their physique, they're dudes.
Field rounds out of turn 4 behind that Mustang Dark Horse safety car. And then they'll drop down onto Vabismo Pit Road for the first caution flag service of the day. By the way, A.J. Allmendinger got the free pass. There was quite a battle for that at the end of stage 1. Jamie?
And a nice battle for Brad Keselowski, who pits from second. Said he's bouncing around a lot. It's pretty much sketchy, he said. They're going to make a wedge adjustment and 4 tires. Meanwhile, you just met the crew of the 22 going around on the left side. No adjustments. Happy with the handling of that race car. 4 tires only. Josh?
Ross Chastain in that one car picked up that last stage point there. Said he's happy with the ride quality. A little insecure getting pushed, but want no adjustments there, Regan.
Chris Buescher in the 17 car had everything go right for him in that stage. The car is really good. They're going to wait on fuel. In the 60 at Ryan Preece, it was an emotional roller coaster at the end. If they would have had enough fuel or not, they did. Waiting on fuel as well.
Look how much fuel he had to wait on, to Regan's point right there. We heard him talk about 80% throttle. You might run out of gas here coming to the stage in.
Exactly. Bubba Wallace did 2 tires to get to the front. Ryan Preece came in first, and having to take all that fuel, came out 8th.
for a race break, along with Jamie McMurray, Chris Myers, and Ryan Preece. We've already had with Ty Gibbs a first-time winner of this year, and Preece trying to capture the first win in his career. But he gets the Stage 1 win at Talladega. By the way, third, his best finish of his career at Talladega, also third at Las Vegas. So as we give the guys in the booth a break, we've gone to Big Bill's. It's a fan hangout here at Talladega, over 3,000 acres. So you know that normally Talladega is a town of only 16,000. It's like over 100,000 on this weekend. And you have people from all 50 states, 5 continents, 26 different countries. And we have fans, Jamie, from all, let's see, where are you from?
Hey, Ty, South Dakota.
South Dakota. How about you?
South Dakota.
And how about you?
Iowa.
Iowa. How about you?
Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham,
He talks
Alabama.
fast. He talks more than you, I think, as well.
So how about Iowa? So did you guys, you're regular coming here? Do you usually dress up like this for the race?
I do. So this is my 4th year in a row. We come down. It's a anniversary tradition, and from here we head down to Florida.
And I see you got a Denny Hamlin, but you used to be a Tony Stewart guy. You like guys that are shy and mild?
It was Tony Stewart. Before Tony Stewart, it was Dale Earnhardt Sr.
Okay.
Senior country.
All right.
All right, what about you guys? Who are we cheering for today?
Ryan Blaney.
Blaney?
Blaney.
Yeah, I see he's got a Dodge hat on. I think he's cheering Clint and I on for the truck race coming up not to do.
Oh, that's right. You were in
yeah.
And Clint. Can I have
Kona
that?
Ice. Do not give that to
It's
him.
hot
He loves
out here.
sugar and he won't give it back.
All right, kids. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you. Thanks for making the trip, you guys. Enjoy the rest of the race. Being a part of Fox Sports. Let's go back to the booth. Just a quick little.
No, none.
Tyler Reddick led a group of cars onto pit road to top off before we begin Stage 2. And upon further review, Bubba Wallace took 4 tires on his first pit stop of the day. This time he was fuel only to get him up to the front. Regan?
Well, Mike, just to update Tyler Reddick coming down to top off. Really nothing to lose for those guys. He had to pit before the pit lane opened. I went and looked to Billy Scott and I said, was it that close on fuel? And his eyes got really big and he said, yeah, we were that close. So they couldn't even make it under yellow rolling around once more before they came down for their first pit stop. Top off here. He's going to have to go to the back. Keep in mind also, Bubba Wallace pitted with 4 laps to go in that stage. So he had fresh tires and a full load of fuel, able to do that, do no tires on that stop and get out front.
So the drivers that stopped to top off, including Reddick, were William Byron, Noah Gragson, Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Zane Smith, and Ricky Stenhouse. Those were the lead lap drivers that topped off.
That just gives them insurance to make it 42 laps to the end of the next stage.
That's right. These last 2 stages are only 45 laps each. So if things go right, you can make it without a fuel stop. Stage 2, green flag.
The aggression level is getting ready to go way up, Clint, as we see the first 2 cars right there in both rows pushing really hard.
And who's that guy pushing? We haven't seen much of him this year. That's a 3-time champion in that 22 car. A big day for him, big opportunity. We need a win bad.
Is at the very back going backwards.
There is a lot of cars up front, including that one on the inside. Ross Chastain, Keselowski's up there. We need
room in front right now.
I mean, you don't want to use the word desperation, Kevin, but there's some guys need a win extremely bad.
Well, we talked about this at the beginning of the race with Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Cole Custer, all those guys up in the front of this pack. They need to get to victory lane.
And right up there, you mentioned Custer and Ryan Preece trying to become the 13th driver in history to get his first career win at Talladega. Now, of the 12 that have done it, this place is so unpredictable. For 6 of them, it was their only career win.
Yeah, and you saw Bubba Wallace get loose right there.
Sure did.
Snapping out from behind right there. So
yeah, I was right in front of Logano off of a push. I might move to the bottom of the racetrack because of it, but I've been watching Logano and Blaney. that pairing with those Penske cars is always extremely strong. They're lethal to the competition when they can find each other and work together.
All right, I'd forgotten about Kentucky Speedway. Most people have, and that's where Cole Custer already got his first win. If he wins today, that would be number 2. Bubba Wallace in front. .79 laps to go at the world's fastest speedway. Here's our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. Ross Chastain's Chevy leading the Fords of Logano, Blaney, and Preece. The Toyota of Wallace. Then Buescher, Keselowski, Custer, Bell, and Gilliland, your top 10.
And you see Joey Logano pull out right there, and Ross Chastain didn't even try to block him. He just moved down a lane. See that bottom lane get checked up, and not with Ross pulling down there, kind of knocks them back a couple car lengths compared to that middle lane.
It is funny when he moved that 22 car around the one. Look what it did to the rest of the field. The outside lane came in, the inside lane came up. Everybody moves it. When you take a link out of that chain, it really disrupts what's behind you.
Yeah, and typically when they're full speed like this, very hard to make ground up in that third lane.
Inside 1. 2 back to the top lane.
Lots of focus on. You're listening to Freddie Kraft, his spotter. You saw him look to the left as Chastain came up to his inside, saw him in the side mirror. You got a camera, Kevin, a rear view mirror.
Ooh, yeah, and you see that car just kind of surge forward to the back bumper of Ryan Blaney, but got a little out of control getting into 3, and that's where that bump is that we talked about earlier in the race, where the haulers go across the racetrack, and there's just big bumps, and these cars bounce really hard right there.
I'm impressed with the energy and the momentum on the outside. Custer coming, Suarez pushing him.
Yeah, I had just gotten done telling you that third lane was never going to work. Here they are.
I think it also depends on who's in it, you know, and how well they're pushing. If that Custer was loose at the front of that thing and causes them to stack up behind, you lose your performance of your line. But Custer's doing a good job. Jamie, what do you got?
Well, Joey Logano leading for the first time today. You guys touched on it, but it has been a difficult year for Logano. In fact, next week will be the 1-year mark since he last went to victory lane. I talked to Joey this morning about that, and he said, it's hard sometimes to keep your head up, but we know our processes are good. Our detail game is on point, and of course, our pit crew is getting it done. We're just down on speed. And then he told me, here at Talladega, Daytona, those are our best shots to win this year.
Well, when the 22 and the 12 get together, they can be hard to deal with. They are good teammates. They stay together. And usually once they get to the front, they're hard to pass. Regan.
Well, my crew chief Derek Finley has his driver Ryan Preece up front. It was a roller coaster of a first stage. You guys got the win. How do you manage this second stage now?
I mean, the way NASCAR broke the stages up, it's really, it's pretty much as hard as we can go. So, you know, I think the biggest thing is if people are going to flip the stage or if we're going to go for stage points, you know, and we'll kind of see. We'll play that out as it happens. But, yeah, it's pretty much go as hard as you can.
All right, we've enjoyed watching it. Mike, I can tell you they told me that they love it when Ryan's fired up on the radio, and that's what they've got right now.
Well, you see them right now. They're splitting that 22 car. Joey Logano 4 wide, and he left that bottom lane just open just a little bit, and Ross Chastain took it.
A lot of aggression right there with Chastain, Logano.
And you want to keep your track position right now. Like we're in when it's hammered down like this, you know, it becomes more difficult to make something happen. So you want to keep your track position at the front of this field.
4 wide through turns 1 and 2 and all the way down the back. Thrown away, and Wallace is in the wall right after contact.
Right in front of the pack. Blaney's around. Logano's around. They're all wrecking. This is the big one. That's the whole field.
4 cars were in front of that crash. 1 car, McDowell, was behind it.
I mean, there's only 4 cars that are not in this crash.
It's a parking lot down here.
Preece comes to the line with Buescher, Chastain, and Christopher Bell. Here's Eric Jones coming across, and Michael McDowell. Everybody else was either in it or had to scatter to avoid contact.
Yeah, as the cars come by, and you see the 54 right here, Ty Gibbs got a toe link broke.
Garage. Let's get a look at him.
A lot of cars coming by with a little bit of damage. You see a bunch of them. Daniel Suarez driving backwards right here.
Bubba out of the car where the wreck started.
You were just talking about that 23 car, Clinton, just the way that it was light on its feet there, changing lanes and all the things that were happening.
I thought we were fine till it all got 4 wide in the middle of the pack, but that's not where this started. This started right up toward the front.
And, you know, that's typically the way that these races go because you have to push and you have to, you know, you get braver and braver and braver. And I think as we watch this replay with Bubba Wallace, it's probably from a push that goes wrong.
All right, we're going to sort out some replays for you as we're watching drivers get out of the car or drive away if they can. Here is a quick look. Watch Bubba Wallace right in front.
Stacked them all up.
And off a push, he goes in the wall, and everybody is right there. We'll sort it all out for you when we come back. You're watching NASCAR on Fox from Talladega. Welcome back to Talladega. After a big pileup in the back straightaway, there are cars being removed from the accident scene. They include Alex Bowman back there, Ryan Blaney also being towed in.
It might be easier just to say who's not in it.
It's Kyle Larson, Ty Gibbs, and Chad Fincham. Some cars were able to drive away. Now, cars that are stopped on pit road with damage include Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar, Jesse Love, William Byron, Kyle Busch, John Hunter Nemechek, Chase Briscoe, and Joey Gates. Those are the cars that are stopped on pit road. And after looking at replays, everything stacked up behind Bubba Wallace. And there may have been contact from Joey Logano into Ryan Blaney,
we'll
into
start with
Ross
this.
Chastain, into the 23.
It starts with Chastain. Watch, Chastain goes up. He moves up into the middle lane in front of Blaney. Now Wallace follows suit. That checks them all up. And as they get to Bubba, you've got the inertia 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars all slamming into Bubba Wallace. And as soon as they touched him, he was already in trouble, in my opinion. That car was loose. We saw it several times. And as soon as they touched him, away it went. Wrecked the whole field. That's a big one.
And a lot of times, well, all the time, for the most part, when those 4 or 5 cars are hooked up like that, when they get checked up, the guy that's 4 or 5 cars back doesn't understand what's in front of him, so he just keeps pushing, and eventually it's got so much more inertia than the first car that you're pushing. It just shoots him out and finally spins him out, like you saw right here with the 23.
Yeah, I mean, you take that inertia clear back to Cindric back there in the bright yellow car. Watch this. As they get to him, you see Chastain getting, and see them 4 cars pull away. It was actually 3 cars, but they pulled right up to the bumper of the 1 car, and as they collectively got to him, they all hit the 23 is basically what happens.
Now this next time, the next replay we see is going to be in real time at speed, and you see just how little anyone has time to react. From on board, Joey Logano. Bubba Wallace.
Did you hear that?
You could hear the back tires come off the ground.
Now among the fortunate, Michael McDowell.
You can't see anything in that scenario either. He's just slowing down and listening to his spotter.
Yeah, and you hear him going through the gears right there.
Ty Gibbs. Kyle Larson. Austin Dillon.
He may have got hit from behind. looked like he was slowing it down just fine. All of a sudden, it just went sideways.
And that's the worst when you're trying to stay out of the pack and last car or next to last car in the field and get spun out in the safe spot.
Yep. Yeah. See, he did get hit from behind. I think it was 66 car.
And before we go to Jamie Little with Bubba Wallace, here's a look at how he went through that. Jamie.
Just pure chaos at the front of the pack for Bubba Wallace. And Bubba, you just watched all those replays. What was it like from the seat? You had a couple hard hits there.
Hell, I dozed off waiting on you for so long. Sorry.
I know, there's a lot to get through. I'm sorry.
Damn, right? Nothing to show for in the first stage, obviously, just trying to figure out the strategy stuff. But, man, just hate it. Hate it for Xfinity, hate it for our team. You don't want to have any DNS. We got 2 now, so that's a bummer. But we gotta figure out how to be pushed better. So I take responsibility on that, and we'll have a good debrief and figure out what we can do to make our Toyotas a little bit better being pushed, and maybe not have that happen. But appreciate Xfinity. We'll go on to old Tejas and have some fun.
Thank you.
Well, he referenced exactly what you were talking about earlier in the race with that car having a little bit of trouble being all over the place. You know, when he was.
Yeah.
Not even being pushed very hard, and a hard push right there from the one car sent him flying.
Racing Insight still working on the numbers, but we have at least 26 cars involved in the big one. This summer, the biggest tournament on the planet comes to America, and you can see it all right here on Fox. The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicks off June 11th on Fox and FS1. Alexi Lalas will be on the call for many of those games as lead analyst. And here at Talladega, they're the Lalas Bros. They are lookalikes of Alexi from the 1994 World Cup tournament. Josh?
Well, Ross Chastain able to avoid any damage there. They debated getting tires here, elected to go with 3.5 seconds of fuel. Regan?
Ryan Preece in a great position on the racetrack, able to miss that wreck that just happened. The plan for them, 2 tires. We're going to wait on fuel. There's no reason not to.
It appears that 13 or 14 of the lead lap cars did not sustain damage in that crash on the back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, these cars are pretty durable, you know, as far as the front, sides, back, you know, so.
Don't forget that 45 one with no right front fender in Atlanta. Didn't even have a fender.
Under caution at Talladega following the big one. The month of May, and you know what that means, the greatest spectacle in racing, the 110th Indy 500. Don't miss it on Fox, Sunday, May 24th. Here at Talladega, how many pages is this graphic? 7? No, at least 26 cars involved in this wreck.
Yeah, we almost need a graphic for not involved.
It would be shorter. It would be shorter, wouldn't it?
Oh, man. What a massive wreck.
We do have 20 cars on the lead lap right now, and many of the cars that were crashed are being worked on in the garage, some in hopes of getting back in the race. Now, here's Joey Logano riding through this before we go to Joey with Jamie. Jamie Little.
We were just talking about Joey Logano and the good day you had. You were leading some laps, and then just like that, it's over. What did you see? What did you feel up front there?
Yeah, they started wrecking above me there, and I just was trying to get low as I can and to try to avoid it. And there was cars, everyone was trying to do the same thing, trying to get low, and just caused the big crash at Talladega. So it's frustrating. I felt like I had a pretty solid car. I mean, it's kind of in the spot where I wanted to be. I had my teammate around me there and thought I was in an okay spot. And then, yeah, what do you want? Save fuel or crash? Pick one. That's what it feels like right now. It's frustrating. You got round bumpers on these things. The cars are unstable. And, you know, once everyone starts pushing and racing aggressive, it's going to happen. So until we fix that stuff, we're going to continue seeing it, unfortunately. And unfortunately today, we're the ones that got caught up in it. Yep.
Joey Logano and his teammate Ryan Blaney were both caught up in the crash. There is no free pass on this caution, and Denny Hamlin is not happy about it.
No, 20, no. No, get the 20 to pit. He needs to pop off or something.
I believe Hamlin was under the impression that if Christopher Bell had pitted, he would get the free pass, but NASCAR is saying there was no free pass.
I think would have been the waiver round.
It's a waiver round, yeah.
The two, Austin Cindric, would have been
he stayed out,
pass.
Didn't pit.
But Bell stayed out and did not pit, so no one is eligible to drive around him to get the waiver round. That's where we are.
Well, the complexion of this race changed dramatically right there on the entry into turn 3 with that accident where you see all the skid marks right here. Now, now you've got some guys up at the front of this pack that need to win races, Clint. And you know, if you can just keep your car rolling for the rest of the day, not make any mistakes, you're going to have a shot with this small group of cars that you have in the front.
And I want you to remember what I said before we went to that break about Tyler Reddick and his win at Atlanta. That thing was tore up pretty good. These cars are tough. As long as the alignment and the mechanical side of the thing is still intact, you can stay in that draft with these with some body damage, for sure.
Yeah, and even when they win, they have beat up bumpers, tire marks down the sides.
Or a missing front fender.
Yeah,
what I'm getting at is I think there's several of these cars that were involved on that list that you showed. They're still going to be able to get back in this thing, get them established, and possibly pull off a win. But you're right. Chastain, in dire need of a win, is certainly in a great position for today.
Well, you've got Chastain, you've got Gilliland, Buscher, Priest, Ware, Stenhouse.
You get farther than that, I don't know how much damage there. I'm going to need a lap or two.
All right, there's more to the progressive race summary than everybody crashed. But that's kind of what happened here. Christopher Bell is the latest of 13 leaders. We've had 27 lead changes. There are 20 cars on the lead lap as we clean up just the second caution of the day.
Yeah, why would Christopher Bell, Adam Stevens, his crew chief, leave him out? One, he's up there leading the race. We know, especially with these cautions, they can make it to the end stage 2. I still like the strategy that Charles tonight did in that first stage, flipping that stage, coming in maybe just topping off, and you maybe get up a bunch of track position. I know Bubba's in the garage area torn up, but I really like that strategy.
Halfway through stage 2, which is just 45 laps long. Stage 3 is the same.
Yeah, and when I saw that wreck earlier, I look at this onboard here of Tyler Reddick on his Rockstar Energy drink camera. I mean, I thought he was in big trouble, but he's out there rolling still, Clint.
Well, it had a lot of damage that we showed. I remember seeing it. Front end damage. These cars are extremely tough.
He won a race that way, his second of the season.
That's right.
Yep.
Just like that. Looked just like William Byron's 24 car.
Yep.
All right, let's get back to it. Halfway through stage number 2, pace car pulls off. Ross Chastain inside of Christopher Bell. Chevy versus Toyota on this restart. 2 Fords behind the front row, Gilliland and Buescher, as things stay pretty orderly.
Yeah, and we haven't said Todd Gilliland's name all day, right down there on the bottom lane, pushing Ross Chastain.
And look too behind him, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., that 47 car on your inside, certainly capable of finding victory lane on a super speedway. Quite a bit of Chevys up here, 3 Fords, 1 Toyota. This is a scenario where I believe strength in numbers, and when I mean strength in numbers, that manufacturer battle where we can work together in this limited field that we have, and we can really help one another.
That's a great point. And when you said the key word right there, limited field, and when you knock those numbers down and the energy of the pack is not as great as it is when we've got all the cars in the race, then it becomes a little bit more difficult to pass. And you got to have, if you can have some strategy like that where everybody can get together, you can make more ground and fend people off just by sheer numbers.
And that certainly lends to the Chevrolets from what I saw in the top 10.
But what happens inside the helmet when you have a big pileup like this? They won't put the red flag out. Everybody gets a chance to reset, reboot, rethink what they're going to do next. How does it change the mindset?
It changes your strategy. Your mindset is, now I got to find a new dancing partner. Look at Christopher Bell in that 20 car right there on the list. He's the only, well, now Reddick's up here in 10th, but he needs to try to find some new friends, somebody to work with, because you know those Chevrolets are going to spit you out, and that Ford behind you as soon as possible with a Ford behind him as a teammate.
Well, and the other thing is, you become way more confident if you're these guys, because you missed what you.
Oh, trouble! Hard hit in the wall for Ty Gibbs.
I'm wondering if that car, that had a lot of damage on the front. It almost looked like a right front failure.
Third caution of the day, lap 124. That was an incredibly hard hit. That car just rocketed into the wall.
He had a lot of damage. I remember seeing in the big one, got it fixed and back out there. I'm thinking we probably had a problem. Get to a replay
and thankfully make sure he is okay.
That's as hard a hit as you can have, isn't it?
Yeah, when that right front tire goes down like that and just shoots straight into the fence, never fun, Clint.
Be able to see him. I think there he is at the right side of your screen. You see the damage already on the front. The tire let go. See it go down on the right front. Blew a right front.
Yeah, and it looks like that nose is folded up under. You see the nose folded up under the front of the car right there. I just wonder.
Well, let's watch the driver shot of Ty Gibbs, number 54.
Oh, you heard it.
Oh. And that video looks violent.
Upwards of 200 mile an hour, blow a right front tire and hit the wall. That is an extremely hard hit.
It looks violent, it sounds violent, but you know the way that these cars crash and the instant whip that it gives you, we can't even keep up with it in our television cameras unless we slow it way down to see how far he moves forward. But massive hit.
Earlier this week, a well-known online pundit said race car drivers are not athletes. I want to send him this sequence and ask him to think about it. Welcome back to Talladega, where our aerial coverage is brought to you by Goodyear. Tried, tested, proven legendary. 62 laps to go. We're midway in stage 2. Now, Jamie Little was interviewing Kyle Larson when Ty Gibbs crashed, but here's the whole interview off tape.
Well, Kyle Larson, one of those caught up in the big one here. Once again here at Talladega, a big one up front. Take us through what you saw, Kyle.
Oh, another big wreck. Yeah, I don't know. Just got big stack up, and then I was kind of in the middle of it, so I'm not sure what kind of started it, but yeah, that was a bummer. So yeah, just another Talladega, but we got ourselves back there. I don't know what happened the first pit stop, but we didn't get as much fuel in it, I think, as we needed to, and then, you know, I was saving, got, you know, shuffled the back, and then, yeah, just didn't, you know, had to take a lot of fuel in the pit stop, and then was in the back, lost the draft, somebody had to restart in the back there to start that stage, and then it was getting kind of hairy, so not surprised to get, you know, wrapped up in that crash, but just sucks.
That's Kyle Larson, and now let's join Jamie live.
And Ryan Blaney now out of the race officially, just got checked and released, and we're hearing from different drivers and what they're saying about this car and the instability. What were you dealing with out there?
Yeah, I mean, with the wreck, I just feel like we kind of just all got pinballing off each other a little bit, and from what I've seen, it kind of, we're just kind of all bumping and bumping, and yeah, they're unstable. It turned Bubba to the top, and you know, the outside lane was there, and he, you know, got clipped. So I don't know, just one of those things. We kind of all just, it closed tight quick. We all got pinballing, and we've seen that so many times. Like, you kind of get pinballing off each other. You're trying to lift and kind of check, and next thing you know, that someone, or not someone, but everybody wrecks. So unfortunate. I hate we were in the middle of it. I think, I don't really know if there's anyone to blame. We just kind of just got all bouncing off each other, but it's a shame that cars got tore up. I appreciate the Worth group for being with us. I thought our car was really fast, and we did a great job in stage 1 of hitting the strategy right and one stopping it, and set ourselves up really good for stage 2. And unfortunately, won't be able to finish. Hopefully, there's still some Fords out there where we can get a blue oval in victory lane, but you know, I hate it for our group, and let's move on and go to Texas.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll see you there.
Worth will be the title sponsor next week in Texas. Denny Hamlin's view of the big one back at lap 116 in Talladega. All right. Welcome back to Talladega, where we will restart with 20 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch got the free pass on the caution at lap 124 for Ty Gibbs. And Michael McDowell now also off with damage from that one, as is William Byron.
And this is an opportunity for those with damage to keep working on their race cars and get them better. Didn't get much of a feel for what you had for speed there with him, Gibbs having trouble pretty early, but that is an opportunity. Let's get back in here, put some more patches on it.
Now the race is going to be to get back on the lead lap because there are 4 drivers 1 lap down. Cindric, Ty Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Jesse Love, all 1 lap down.
That's a good point, something we need to keep track of here for sure. Hamlin, he needed that 20 car to pit. He could have got his back an easy way.
And since the 20 did not pit, nobody could take the wave around. So here we come for the restart. $14 to go in stage 2.
Now you see that bottom lane did a nice job getting connected. Now they're starting to come disconnected right there on the bottom lane. Top 2 cars doing a nice job.
Chastain always an aggressive blocker. They do a good job of moving, figuring out where the energy's coming from.
Well, and at this point, Clint, you have to take advantage of what just happened today. So I think you're going to see Ross Chastain pretty much throw caution to the wind. Not that he doesn't always do that. Chris Buescher going to put Christopher Bell up top by himself.
And puts himself in front of a Ford with Helby Gilliland behind him. Good scenario for Buescher, good move. Keep your eye on that 47 car, Stenhouse. He's lurking. Does a good job on his super speedways. He's in a good position.
And exactly what happened is exactly what that team's plan was to sit back, wait for the wreck to happen. Don't worry about stage points. We are here to try to win that race with that 47 Chef Boyardee car. So it's a guy behind the wheel that has been to victory lane on a lot of these super speedways and knows how to get it done. Strategy worked out well today.
And I want you to, just what I was pointing out earlier, these cars can come back with damage and prevail. Again, Reddick winning at Atlanta with no fender. You can see we got plenty of cars still in action as Hocevar goes to the inside.
He made it 3 wide, but still stayed above the double yellow line.
And is that a car, one of those 1 lap down? No, it's not.
No, Hocevar's 14.
But that Hamlin is right beside him. That's what made me question that. Quick move, trying to jockey for position to get yourself in to get that lucky dog if it comes.
That's right. Hamlin is now in the free pass position. First car 1 lap down.
And you got to fight all you can to keep your car up front because like I said earlier, when this pack is smaller, track position is going to become more important because it's harder to build those runs up with those cars, Clint.
And you see Hamlin and Cindric right side by side. There's 2 of the 4 cars. If that caution comes out, needs that position. Hamlin, no help on the inside.
Watch that car, second Stenhouse. Did you see that, Clint? Christopher Bell on the front row right there, giving plenty of space to that inside line. Stenhouse going through the corner, super aggressive, trying to side draft the cars below him to try to keep them. Look at that.
There you're seeing it, yep.
He's a half a car lower than most of those guys going through the corner. Now they're kind of pushing him up the racetrack a little bit to say, hey.
Now watch the momentum as he comes back to Bell. When you do that and make those moves, it also creates that gap. What's that gap? It's an opportunity to go around him and make a pass if you want it.
I'm a little bit nervous about the Christopher Bell car and how hard you can push him. Regan?
Well, Kevin, that's exactly what I wanted to update real quick there. Christopher Bell, under that last yellow, told crew chief Adam Stevens, I'm really struggling when cars are pushing me, especially into the corner. The car is just dancing around, and I can't control it quite like I want to. So as we get closer to the end of this stage, the end of this race, as you see the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse tucked up right underneath the back bumper, that's something to keep an eye on.
And Ricky will know that. Be careful. Don't get on his left quarter panel, getting into the corners. Be mindful of that. He can see that car dancing around and he's having trouble. I wouldn't want to follow it much longer.
Well, it's not only getting offset to the left, but it's also getting offset to the right. And we're talking just a little bit. That's actually what happened to Bubba Wallace, because when you hit him too hard and you're a little bit to the right, it'll actually shoot him to the right. And, so that Toyota car and what Bubba Wallace said about those cars being so unstable when they're pushed makes me concerned for that outside lane to be able to push Christopher Bell far enough forward.
Bottom of your screen, the battle for the free pass position. That bright yellow number 2 of Austin Cindric, the orange and purple number 11 of Denny Hamlin, along with Ty Dillon and Jesse Love. 1 lap down.
Well, right now, Cindric is in that position on the outside.
And 9 laps from now, somebody will get a free pass because it'll be the end of stage 2.
Pretty aggressive pushing up front.
Well, you've got 2 of the best pushers in the business right there. I believe Chris Buescher is one of those. Ricky Stenhouse does a really good job. You see right there, Todd Gilliland in the 34 car, just great spacing from that 3rd row to keep that 2nd place car. That's really where the speed comes for your lane, is how consistent can you keep that spacing from 1st to 2nd to keep pushing them.
Still outside. Half off you, big half off of him.
Ross Chastain's radio. If you made a list of the most aggressive pushers in the garage area, Ricky Stenhouse would certainly be among the top 2, I would say, along with Brad Keselowski.
Well, that's what makes him a good
I was going to say, he's good at it.
Yeah, a drafter. He's good at these super speedways because of his aggression.
Yeah.
And he's aggressive and under control. I mean, very rarely do we talk about him making a mistake with a push or something at these super speedways.
He's being mindful. You can tell when where he's catching Bell. It's in the middle of the straightaway. It's not in corners. He's pushing at the right places.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point that you make right there, because you want to get your space right through the corner so that when you get to the exit of the corner, you're attached to that front bumper. And I think that's what Ricky does really good. You see him just barely off the back bumper of Christopher Bell right there. And as soon as that banking flattens out, that's when you want to be reattached to that back bumper so that you can push all the way down the straightaway. And that helps keep that accordion effect at a minimal rate for your row when you don't have so much space in between the cars.
Leaders' lap times right now are only about 2 to 3/10 of a second off their fastest laps of the race. Nobody's holding anything back now.
And the pack's more efficient right now because you have less cars. So it's efficient speed-wise, makes it harder to make lanes because it is more efficient. And that speed is going to stay up because these guys are single file more because of the smaller amount of cars in the pack.
Keep an eye on how stable that 1 car is compared to the 20 on the outside. He is getting pushed way harder and slammed in his bumper harder with Buescher than Stenhouse is able to do with Bell. Look at Bell's car all over the place as soon as he gets to the rear of it. But look at the 1 car. She's stuck like glue.
Stuck like glue. Got that jockey paint scheme on the side right there. That paint scheme on the side, Mike, is pretty awesome.
You just can't say that when he drives up into turn 3 and all those skid marks.
Yeah. Definitely don't want. Or you're saying you don't want skid marks in your jockeys.
Well, I'm saying I might need a new pair of jockeys.
Who's going to win stage 2? We're going to find out here in 5 laps. Chevy in front on the inside, Toyota on the outside. Different makes pushing each. And still 20 cars battling on the lead lap. Austin Cindric in the free pass position, 1 lap down, as Denny Hamlin has dropped back a bit.
Look at Reddick's car, that left rear quarter panel sticking way out. They'll address that, but it's still able to hold suit right there in the draft and remain, in contention here.
Well, and he's in a great spot. When you have your car tore up, the first thing you want to do is try to just get yourself settled into the middle of the pack. So they have to push you. You have cars in front of you that you can draft off of. And when you're wrecked, the best place to be is in the middle of that pack.
Right where he's at.
There's just no quit in this guy. You look at, and his team. We have to give his team credit too. But Tyler Reddick he is such a grinder and doesn't quit. Hear him have to lift off the gas right there. No matter what the condition is, you see the 33 car.
That's what it did. That lapper, as they caught that lapper, really jumbled him up.
And that takes Jesse Love off of the 1 lap down list. Cindric, Hamlin, Ty Dillon to fight for the free pass.
And that 20 car's in a bad spot, Clint.
Yep.
You can, that aerial view that we just saw right there of those cars going down the back straightaway, that thing is just walking all the way down the straightaway.
And coming to 4 to go in this stage in, Stenhouse knows that. He's going to set up a pass. See that gap? That's what I want. Eventually, when in the closing laps down to the end of this stage, you're going to have an opportunity to make a pass and pounce on him when the time's right. It's coming. See that gap?
Well, Bell's got a handful. He was on pit road 16 laps before all the other drivers that he's racing against for this stage 2 win.
And that's the part they got to be careful with. You see that car moving around right there, but when they get that gap and catch him halfway down the straightaway with the 3rd place car attached to the 2nd place car, they're going to hit the back bumper of Christopher Bell, with Stenhouse not being able to control that run. He's basically going to be in control. Ryan Preece's car is going to be in control of the speed of his car.
That's exactly right.
You can't lift enough to not hit him.
I think 1 lap to go. You see Stenhouse, that gap shows up again. He's going to try to take Preece with him and go to the outside of Bell, make a pass.
Hamlin has made a green flag stop. They fill it with fuel, send him on his way.
They realize they're not going to get, that lap back right now, so we're going to try to better our situation for the next stage.
He knows everybody will be pitting. It'll be leader. This will maybe put him in a position now to get the wave around, and he'll be full of fuel.
And, yep, in a good situation.
Ross Chastain trying to score the stage win, as they're going to come to 1 to go with Bell on the outside, Chastain on the inside. Ford pushing a Chevy and a Chevy pushing a Toyota for the stage win. How's this going to turn out?
I'm calling it off at 2. I want that gap back. I'm talking about Stenhouse. Now Bell goes to the inside. That was probably a good move for Bell. But he's going to get a big push. Is he going to pull up? Chastain's going to pull up.
Oh, man, that was a tight.
Very tight. Bell covers. Chastain back to the bottom. Buescher with him. Stenhouse gives Bell a bump. They're up in the north banking, coming out of turn 4. Final lap, stage 2. Chastain with a gap. Is it too big a gap?
I think
it's a long
it might
way
be,
to the
Mike.
finish line. There they come. Chastain trying to cover both lanes at once into the tri-oval. And beats Bell to the line. Second stage win of the season for Ross Chastain, and his first at Talladega. Well, that jockey was whipping that horse as Chastain gets the green and white checkered flag over Bell, Buescher, Stenhouse, and Gilliland.
If this ain't the most Big Brother moment I've ever seen, like, this is hilarious.
It's smiling all the way.
What's that like for him having that one slip away under those circumstances?
Well, the other thing that, to go back to the interview that Michael Jordan said was, I can't wait to talk trash to Denny.
Yes, he did.
And I thought that was fun. You can see that they have a very competitive relationship.
Join Kevin and the crew every Tuesday and Thursday for Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour. Good fun.
Oh, that was good fun last week. And yeah, I know Denny was mad. And Michael knew he was mad too. And he just, I love a competitive relationship like that.
One stage to go, and it'll be just 45 laps, just like the last one when they were lapping within just a couple of tenths of their fastest laps of the day. Christopher Bell will come in the pit second. He'll have the advantage of the best pit crew in the sport, but the disadvantage after leading all those laps, he's probably going to need more fuel than some of the fellows he's racing against. Now, Ross Chastain was out in front of the other lane, so it'll be interesting to see who gets away from pit road first. We'll have 21 cars on the lead lap when we restart as Austin Cindric will get the free pass. Well, Larry, I guess it could be more than 21.
We do tend to have overtimes here. In fact, we have actually had 20 all-time overtime finishes here.
Wow. Field rounds out at turn number 4, and they'll head for Vabismo Pit Road to fill up Sunoco race fuel with Poet zero carbon bioethanol. Get a fresh set of Goodyear tires. Lead lap cars pit the first time by, lap down cars the second time the pace car brings them by. Pit road's going to be a busy place, Josh.
Let's start with the one of Ross Chastain, your stage 2 winner, leading 22 laps so far in this race. Happy with the car right now. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel and a go on the jack for the one car. Let's go to the 47. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. put himself in position. It's going to be fuel and 2 tires on the right side for the 47 of Ricky Stenhouse, Regan.
Well, Chris Buescher loves where that 17 car has said it's very stable. You see 2 tires right there for him. Said it's very stable compared to others. In the 20 at Christopher Bell, he exclaimed, "We survived." They had to stop short to make sure he could get out of the pits, but you see extra fuel needed like you guys noted.
Chris Buescher is going to win that race off pit road. And we have 42 laps to go.
Jamie McMurray, Chris Myers. Time for a little race break. Fans have a number of different ways that they can see a race at Talladega Superspeedway or see a crash or a wreck. One of the ways that we're observing here is, I guess we're coming out of turn 4 with pit road behind us. And I think we have a couple of Marines on this bus or this stand. So thanks for your service and giving us a good setup. All right, so let's take a look. Stage 2, it was about 306 miles into this 500-mile race. And it wasn't the big one, but it was, well, I should say it was the big one today, but not the biggest one ever. This is the place where 28 cars involved in one crash. This is more than 25 cars were involved. And you just look at the accordion effect of where Ross Chastain was into Bubba Wallace, and it triggers a crash for a number of cars, and they're going about 190 miles per hour. I would describe it as and you lived in one of these before, a tapestry of terror when you raced here, or at least were practicing to race here.
Well, classic case of you're not safe anywhere on the track. A lot of guys want to get to the front and ride, but this wreck happened right at the very front of the pack. We saw a little bit of contact from Chastain, who I think was getting help from behind as well. Drivers have complained about the bumpers not lining up. You see these cars, not being super stable in the draft, and especially as guys get on them. The reality, Chris, is in that first stage, we didn't see a lot of drafting or bump drafting like that. These shorter stages, the aggressiveness went up, and yeah, big wreck right at the start of the pack.
Yeah, and it's amazing that some were able to get through that or involved in the wreck, including Tyler Reddick, right, celebrating the contract extension with 23:11. And even though he was 15th after stage 2, he's won from the pole. He was your pole sitter for this race today, but he's won for as far back as 37th during the race at Daytona, and even 20th when he was in Atlanta. So there's a lot of ways he can still win this race and get his 6th of the year.
Yeah, a lot of guys up front too. We talk about this being an opportunity race. We got Ross Chastain up front. We know he needs to have a good run way back in points, 20th in points. We also talk about Hocevar, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., multiple wins here at Talladega. Always seems to find himself at the front of the pack when he needs to be. You got to keep your eye on all those guys.
And whatever else happens, I hope it happens right here in front of us.
Right, we're here.
Wrap the
That's right.
Buckle up, back to the booth.
Have fun down there, fellas. We still have 40 laps to go, and we still have 21 cars on the lead lap. Shane Van Gisbergen going to be the last of those. He got busted for speeding on this pit stop. So still a lot to go here, and we have yet to see the different manufacturers, the different team organizations, everybody trying to line up. I guess now is the time to find your friends, if you still have any.
Well, it's hard to find them now because of the fact that, that, like you said, the speed of the pack is so far up, and those big runs and the pack getting broke up with less cars makes it more difficult. So you're going to kind of have to dance with whoever you've got at this point to try to win the race.
Well, the one thing that I think we've taken note of quite well is those Toyotas are light on their feet as they get pushed, and the 20 was all over the place there in the closing laps of that stage. Obviously, the 23 got pushed and turned around to cause the big one. But I'm watching Chastain get pushed, and that thing is super solid. It doesn't move around. That's a really good pusher behind him and Buescher. Teams, strength in numbers, like you said. The Chevrolets have, 7 or 8 of them still alive and in the top 10, and obviously those Fords are going to be strong with Preece and Buescher there.
Well, let's check out the Pod's big move of the race, and it's going to be Austin Cindric weaving his way through this. Now, he was involved, but pulled away, stayed in contention, and now he is back on the lead lap.
Yeah, was able to hold on there and got the lucky dog at the end of that stage and got his lap back. That car, we can't say it enough. These things are tanks. Very strong. Reddick won at Atlanta with no right front fender. His Daytona 500 had damage on it with that win. I don't think those guys are out of this thing.
RFK maxing out on stage points. Ryan Preece and Chris Buescher ahead of Chastain, who just won stage 2.
Yeah, great points today for those teammates, RFK and Buescher and Preece. And Chastain, again, I think that number 1 car is looking mighty fine for the end of this race.
A lot of Fords in that group, even some guys that are not in the race, and that's one reason why you want to race for those stage points at the beginning of these races, to cover yourself if you have an accident like we did in stage 2. And having another accident is not out of the question here, because you're going to have to be really, really aggressive to make ground on these pushes.
Hocevar right up there looking for his first win. Bowman, haven't seen or said his name much today. They're a great spot in that 48 car.
So Denny Hamlin pitted with 1 to go, so he did not wave around back to the lead lap. It'll be Hamlin and Ty Dillon 1 lap down to battle for the free pass. Stage 3 with Chris Buescher getting a good push from Hocevar against Alex Bowman.
This track has produced a lot of first-time winners. A Hocevar win would be big here.
Big cycle of guys up to the front of this pack. Chris Buescher really the only one that was, and Stenhouse the only ones that were up in the front. We hadn't said Alex Bowman's name all day, and you see him down in that bottom lane leading it.
You can see the inside line kind of deteriorated down the back of there. Cody Ware, I'm watching him. See the gap between him and Stenhouse. He wasn't able to pull up to the back of Stenhouse and help that line. Going to the outside. That's that hungry driver looking for his first win. Carson Hocevar. Here we go.
The Hurricane takes to the outside. And he's got help from Eric Jones. And behind him, Chase Elliott.
Yeah, and 37 laps to go. We know that these guys are hammered down all the way to the end right here. You think that's a long time, but these laps are going to click off pretty quick right here, so you've got to do everything that you can to make up that track position early in this stage.
Jones pushing hard on Hocevar on the outside. Bowman giving good pushes on the bottom. I really like how that 47 car sucks up to the back of the cars and creates those opportunities.
And the other thing that I notice about that 47 car, Clint, is just you see how off-center a lot of these guys are. He's always super square to the back bumper of whoever he is pushing, and that's what makes good speed.
Four of the current top 10 have never won a NASCAR Cup race. And as you pointed out all day, this is the place for first-time winners, 12 of them in all.
And today just makes it even more possible for those first-time winners with so many of those guys running, smaller field now. Opportunity is there, and who is going to open that door?
I talked to Chase Elliott in the pre-race show, Mike, and I asked him about the Chevrolet, the new body, and where it needed work, and it was these super speedways. They worked on this body to try to make them push better, and you can see that when Bowman on the inside. Super steady, super strong. That car in front of him pushes straight.
Jamie?
Yeah, it's nice to give an update on Alex Bowman in the 48 on the bottom, second in line. You know, this has been a season so far that is forgettable. No top 15 finishes. He missed 4 races from vertigo. Talked to him before the race. He said he's feeling almost back to himself. He thought he had a good shot today. And guys, he's had a good car. Didn't want any adjustments on the last stop, just 4 tires and let me go.
Well, he has more than held his own. Second car on the inside.
See that second car right behind Carson Hocevar right there, Eric Jones. A lot of experience in that seat.
Now, one thing I don't see here, in the previous stage, you had the Fords out front with Logano and Blaney working well together in the 2 Penske Fords. I don't see manufacturer link-ups in this group the way things are right now.
I just don't think that you can afford to do it. I think with the way that this all cycled out from the pit stops and everything, there's just no way that you can get everything aligned at this point and have a good chance at winning it unless you have something miraculous happen at the end.
Well, now instead of showing you a car commercial, thanks to Toyota, we're going to keep it right here on track in Talladega and go Toyota all out with 34 laps to go. Eric Jones, right up there among the leaders. He's had success on NASCAR's biggest racetracks. And I mean, who doesn't like Doritos, right? Josh?
Well, guys, just an update on Eric Jones. We talked about how the system has changed. It's no longer a win and you're in the playoffs. But for this 43 team, a win would still mean a lot here. Eric Jones has really good numbers here. 5 top 10s in his last 9 starts at Talladega. And the team felt good heading into this one. Talked about maybe it doesn't get us into the playoffs if we can come away with a win or a very good day. But the meeting, that's going to be much better on Monday. It's going to give us momentum. It's going to be a big points day for us as we move forward. And we know how important momentum is in this sport.
Casey Nemechek and Christopher Bell right here. That pit stop has put Bell back in what's left of this pack by having to put more fuel in that car. John Hunter Nemechek right on the outside of him, running 13th and 14th.
Nemechek has 6 Talladega starts with the best finish of 8th. Was 14th here last fall.
See Reddick, they worked on that car quite a bit during that last caution. Another opportunity, put some Band-Aids on the front of it, get that left rear quarter panel in. This thing is not out of it. And they don't quit, do they?
No, they don't. And you're exactly right, not being out of it. As we get towards the end of this race and things get even more aggressive than they are right now, I mean, there's just going to be some things that move around, and just being in the right place at the right time to capitalize on it seems to be what the strength of this 45 car has been this year. Right place, right time, fast cars, and capitalized and taking advantage of it.
And that's why they have, what, a 100-point lead when we came into this. And they just always prevail and stay on this racetrack and get it all.
And he won this race 2 years ago. Eric Jones, 18 Talladega starts. Runner-up here in the fall race in 2020.
And he has a lot of speed in that race car. That 43 car can push hard.
And that is Toyota all out. 30 to go, still half the field, 21 drivers on the lead lap with the opportunity to win this. Ty Dillon is in the free pass position, first car 1 lap down. Denny Hamlin is 1 down. Herbst, Dye, and Love 2 laps off the pace. Zilich -3.
There will be a moment coming up, as you can see, Buschard, working them bottom, working the outside as those runs start coming, where it'll stack them up and somebody will have to check up, and that creates a moment, an opportunity for people in the back to capitalize on that. That's what you're waiting on. Talking about a Chastain, a Bell, Hamlin that's back into this thing. All those guys just need this thing to get one little slip up and then check up. They'll get fanned out 3 wide and you can get right up through them.
Yeah, and usually those slips result is from a push that is too aggressive. And when you're not making ground and you're stuck back there, then you start pushing hard. Now, right now you see first 2 cars on the outside, first two cars on the bottom. Both great pushes down the back straightaway.
But look at the gap. Because of these push out, now comes Stenhouse, now comes Elliott on the outside. That's that accordion effect that creates one of these moments that we speak of, Larry.
Yeah, we talked about the strategy of this race, when to pit. But the strategy of what to do when you pit, that's made a difference right now when you look at these drivers at the front. Carson Hocevar and Eric Jones, fuel only. You look at drivers like Bowman, Buescher, Elliott, Stenhouse, 2 tires only. Bell had no choice. He's back there because he had to have more fuel. Ross Chastain, though, also took 4 tires and got himself way back in the pack.
Trouble car just bounced off the wall, and that's Tyler Reddick way up in turn 2. We're going to stay green unless NASCAR spots debris, but I believe he did have contact up there.
Obviously.
Yeah, and these are the types of
that
things.
That right front looks low. I'm sorry, Kevin. Go ahead.
And what I was getting ready to say is these types of things are what happen when you have tore up body panels and braces come loose, cautions out.
So apparently debris from Tyler Reddick will put us under caution for the 5th time today.
Yeah, watching him right on the bottom, and I think you're going to see a lot of the kind of the same thing that, yep, right front. You can see him start to go up, much like we saw with Gibbs, but a lot better scenario. There it's down.
Yeah, and you see, and that's why the caution came out, the carcass of that tire rolling off onto the racetrack.
Hang on to it, hang on to it.
The crazy part is I don't think she isn't killed yet.
Nope, he's going to keep going. But you see all that damage on the right front tire. So it could have been from something coming loose or rubbing up there. Or he's got a handling condition where the car's too tight and never know.
So Tyler Reddick makes it to pit road, and they will make repairs, and we'll be back to Talladega. .26 laps to go, cleaning up after the fifth caution of the day for Tyler Reddick, who is able to continue. Regan?
Well, Mike, Luke Lambert has gotten his driver, Carson Hocevar, in position. We talked about this scenario earlier today in the hauler. If you could get him up there, what you would do when you got him up there, what do you say to him now?
Yeah, I mean, the key for us right now is to just make it to those last couple laps. We need to try to maintain our position up here, run a smart race until it gets inside a couple to go. And then, you know, we've worked on some different plans. I think we've learned some things at super speedways earlier this year for what we need to do on the last lap. I think we're ready for the moment, so we got to get ourselves there first.
All right, good luck getting it there.
Hocevar is second to Chris Buescher, 12 Chevys, 6 Fords, and 4 Toyotas on the lead lap at Talladega with 25 to go. Here at Talladega, the first pit stop was under green, and Chase Briscoe was among those that had difficulty. Ryan Preece went on to win stage number 1 from Brad Keselowski. Stage 2, Ryan Blaney said they all got to pinballing. 25 of them piled up in this stage 2 crash. A dozen cars out because of it. The stage went to the finish, and how close was it? Chris Buescher on this last caution with Carson Hocevar just barely ahead of the line. The last scoring loop.
He lost the race by about that much in Kansas.
Kevin.
Oh, don't remind him. You know how much he doesn't like that video.
It's time for you to pick a horse. Who are you picking?
Well, you're going to put me on the spot.
Yep.
I guess if I had to pick with the way they line up right now, I'm probably going to take the guy that's leading. I like the way that his car drives and the things that he does on the super speedway in the past. So probably Buescher.
Well, old buddy, if you're going to hang out with me tonight, you're going to come with me and Hocevar to Chili's and celebrate our big first win. That's what you're going to have to do if you're going to have any fun at all.
Well, I'm not.
You're on. Let's see what happens.
The best feel-good story of this day would be if Alex Bowman could win this race. What a comeback.
Great point.
That would be.
There's not a bad look at the top 10.
No.
All the way down would be much needed.
Aerial coverage. That's the aerial coverage, Clint. It's brought to you by Goodyear. Legends aren't born, they're proven. Packed infield. Great crowd in the grandstand. Boy, have they seen action today.
All weekend long. It wasn't just today. We saw a great ARCA race. The O'Reilly race was good. And this race is really shaping up. I mean, the big one, it's had everything. It's had strategy, chaotic strategy in the first stage. Second stage got wild. and then it's gonna, it's gonna come down to the end of this thing, and that magical moment off of 4, Kevin.
Well, in the ARCA race, Andy Jankowiak, first-time winner. In the other Saturday race, Corey Day, first-time winner. What are we saying here? First-time winners.
Well, how about Cletus running second in that ARCA race? Didn't have that one on my bingo card. Looked pretty good, though.
He did a great job.
Did.
So of the lead lap drivers, there are 7 who have not yet been to victory lane in the NASCAR Cup Series. Hocevar, Preece, Smith, Ware, Nemechek, Gilliland, and Gregson. Could the winner come from one of those 7?
I like the strength in those Chevrolets. The Fords have been solid. Jones is kind of a lone wolf up there in the top 10. Here we go.
1 Ford and 1 Toyota against 5 Chevrolets at the front of the field.
Coming to 22 to go, it's time to get established in this race. I don't care where you're at. Just keep it the track position in the front, and if you're in the back, find a way.
Kyle Busch had an uncontrolled tire penalty on his pit stop. Starts out back.
Bottom lane got a great connection down there. You see the 47 and a 43 have a little bit of trouble right there.
And that little bit of trouble is those moments that we were talking about earlier. Somebody slips up, has to check them up. I always explain this like a chain. You get slack in the chain, and it's not successful. You got to keep the slack out of the chain in that line. Starts that slinky effect and slows everybody down. But that's the moment that somebody back there with the no track position is waiting for.
Yeah, and you see Hocevar right there, and you're probably thinking, well, why didn't he block that top lane? And I think for him, in his mind, you heard his crew chief, Luke Lambert, talk about putting himself in the right position, and the right position is in front of those 2 Chevrolets in that bottom lane, and it's all about trying to get yourself to exactly what Luke said, the last 2 laps, and just being there and making the right decisions until then.
Jones's car on the outside, I've been watching him, and that car can really push hard, but you see that slinky effect, the slack in the chain that I talk about. Seems like it pushes him out. He loses the help behind him, and it creates a lot of slack in that outside line. A lot of movement, a lot more movement out there than there is on the bottom.
In all the movement at the front of the back, to me, Chris Buescher's number 17 has looked the most stable.
And he's been there all day. I think having that Ford up front, we know they're the best pushers and the cars to be pushed. Chevrolet talked about their cars. They're better, but I still don't think they're as good as the Ford as far as pushing and being pushed. They're definitely the most stable cars with somebody on their bumper.
His best friend is having that Toyota behind him, because you got a Chevrolets behind them. This is one of those scenarios where nobody really has their teammate or the right person behind him other than Hocevar with 2 Chevrolets behind him. Great pusher with Bowman.
And the one thing that you keep mentioning are Chevrolets. There are a lot of Chevrolets at the front of this pack, and when push comes to shove, there's going to be some loyalty on that side of it to try to get a Chevrolet to victory lane, I think.
Well, it's the first time you saw the leader move down. Jones followed suit with him. That's his dancing partner, Jones and Buescher.
You saw Preece, he's on the outside, 4 cars back. He's the closest thing to a friend that Buescher has in this whole top 10.
Hocevar moved up, joined that outside line.
Well, if he didn't, he was going to lose more track position, and that's what we talked about earlier. And he is a guy that is, anytime he gets a run, he's going to take it.
This is that moment that I'm talking about. Great communication with Buescher and his spotter. Move up, slow that line down, use it, keep this track position. Working well together.
And still the same amount of Chevys behind him, but I think he upgraded with his pushers. You see him go down to the bottom lane. Like we talked earlier, having a great pusher like Stenhouse behind you is going to pay off in the end. You make a couple wrong moves right here and stay on the bottom too long and don't fill that hole like Hocevar did,
That's a Toyota on the inside and can't get pushed, much like we saw with Bubba and with Bell. Watch that inside line deteriorate because of that.
And you see every time that Bowman hits the back of Erik Jones's car, it wiggles just a little bit, and it makes the guy that's pushing nervous, and you know that you have to be somewhat timid, and then he checks up.
Hocevar went to the outside here for the point position.
If those Chevys all get together, 3 of them right at the front on the outside, and they forge ahead.
And I think right now Buescher's hoping that as they come up on a lap car, sometimes this will shake the field up too, and they have to weave up the racetrack and kind of shakes things up a little bit. Buescher's hoping that Priest can somehow figure out how to get up there, because he's outnumbered right now with what he's got around him with all the Chevys. Got that lone Toyota up there with Erik Jones. Can't be pushed, and no other friends.
His friends are where he finds them right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking at nameplates.
The good thing about Buescher on that inside is he's ultra stable too. As Jones gets to the back bumper, look, that thing stays steady. Push me as hard as you can.
Hocevar comes down to cover, then back up top.
Yeah, and he wants to cover, but he knows that he doesn't want to leave. When you get the right guy behind you, you want to try to keep him there. And I truly believe that that's the right guy behind him to have the best shot to win this race.
With even another one behind him and Elliott.
And not even because of the nameplate on the car, because of just how good Ricky is at this. And you see right now, all the way through the corner, just right on his bumper right there. It's going to keep getting more aggressive, and you see that pack. You've got 5 rows now that are starting to get super tight.
That's 19 cars within 3/4 of a second. This field is packed as tightly as it can possibly be with 2 rows.
Quarter.
Well, you're out of time. There's no more mulligans. There's no more bailouts without a caution or something. You've got to get the track position, and if you have it, you better hold it.
And in a lot of these scenarios, it's okay. Who's the first one that's going to pop out of line, and then who's going to go with him, and all those. Sometimes you got to take a chance, hoping that the guys behind you will follow you to split Hocevar and put him 3 wide in the middle or something along those lines. What's that moment going to be today?
Is that the only chance of developing a 3rd lane?
Well, it's not going to last long. It's just going to be when they flare out. And it's going to come back together. You can only do it for a lap, maybe 2 laps before the speed starts to take effect back in the bottom and middle lane.
Lucky 13 to go this time by. Let's take a breath and get some trends from Larry.
Well, Mike, we are 1/4 of the way through 2026. The first 9 races, the average caution was 11 to go. Today, that would be lap 177, which is 2 laps from now. 3 overtimes, including our last 2 races at Bristol and Kansas. And I told you earlier, Talladega, 20 overtime finishes all time.
12 first-time winners. Hocevar trying to become number 13. Names like Brickhouse, Pond, Bouchard, Phil Parsons, Bobby Hill, and never won anywhere else but here. But
well, he's certainly been knocking on the door. He's ruffled some feathers along the way, but he will be in victory lane in this sport. And it just might be here in a few minutes.
Yeah, I still think you're right, Clint. That bottom lane, the weakness is that 43 car. Just from a stability standpoint, he can get himself up there and push really well, but they can't push him really hard with 2 cars pushing behind him.
But I will say that thing's got some steam.
Oh,
look how hard it can push.
It's a
and
great,
drive away from the car behind him.
Great pusher.
Coming to 11 to go. NASCAR Cup Series at Talladega. Now around the turn tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time on FS1, the NHRA 4-wide Nationals. And next weekend, the Truck Series from Texas, Friday 8 p.m. on FS1. And we'll have the NASCAR Cup Series at Texas Motor Speedway next Sunday, 3:30 Eastern time on FS1. 4 drivers on the lead lap trying to break the string of 11 straight different winners here. Should Ricky Stenhouse, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, or Kyle Busch go to victory lane, they would be the first repeat winner. Otherwise, we'll have our 12th different driver to celebrate at Talladega in its last 12 races.
See Jesse Love up on the outside, damaged car. Does a good job getting out of the way. Austin Dillon. Close call right there with Zane Smith.
Tried to look to the inside of him, run out of real estate, backed out of the gas.
Chris Buescher trying to score Ford's 750th win.
10 to go.
In what's now the NASCAR Cup Series, and trying to become the first Ford driver not named Ryan Blaney to go to victory lane in their last 5 races.
Well, he's so steady. He's always up in the front of these races, always getting the most out of his car, does a great job at finishing races, and just one of those quiet guys that doesn't get the credit that he deserves for all the things that he does in this race car for a number of years.
Takes care of business for sure.
He's got a 3rd place finish here.
Inside of 10 laps, I can't not tell you the adrenaline rush that this is as a race car driver. Heart rate's through the roof. It's game on. This is what you live for a race car driver. This situation right here in the closing laps, going for a big win, going for your first win in some of them, holding these guys behind you. You know the runs are coming. Everybody's getting antsy.
On. He's going to have to release. Off. Quarter. One's tight to you. Half. Quarter. 77's come back to the 47, ready for a big push here. Big push top line. Tight in front of both. Tight in front of both. 8.
What can you do if you're Ryan Preece or somebody back there 4th, 5th, 6th in line?
You do right what you're doing and wait for it a little bit.
And you want to don't be the weak link in your line. Keep your space to the car in front of you as good as possible. Try to control the runs behind you so that you don't get that slinky effect like Clint was talking about, but they're formed up well on the outside, and it's just going to come down to who decides to make that first move to break all this up.
3/4 half.
And if you're those guys that are 4th, 5th in line, Clint, I mean, you have to start thinking about trying to surprise them at some point, but your hope is that...
Oh! Eric Jones goes for a wild ride after contact and keeps it off the wall. Gets to pit road, and we are still green.
Still green. Hocevar, I think he got tight. That car, then it came back down.
That or the 47 car just got into the back bumper a little bit and kind of shot him to the left.
It was on the exit of the corner, came down and got into the side of the 43. 43 stuck.
Well, that reshuffled the deck.
Caution is out. Unfortunate. Eric Jones was doing a whale of a job holding on to that race car, and that wasn't his doing. Hocevar come down and got into him.
And Larry, this changes everything.
It does that, but I know one thing it doesn't change. If I'm up front, I'm not coming to pit road.
I'm not. If you told me to, I'm not.
And finally, Denny Hamlin gets his lap back. He'll get the free pass after Eric Jones spins from contact. 6 laps to go, and we're under caution for the 6th time today at Talladega. Let's have a look and see what sent Erik Jones spinning into the infield.
And you see just a little bit off center right there, and just gets into the back of him and shoots him to the left. Really easy to do at these places.
I thought I saw Hocevar kind of getting tight and moving up the racetrack a little bit, and as Stenhouse got to him, it sure shot him right down into the side of Erik Jones. Unfortunate. Jones is having a great day, right in a great position.
Alex Bowman. And here's the NASCAR official with the lift system that Larry showed us during pre-race to get that car up on its wheels and able to drive away.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that replay right there, I mean, he definitely hit him square right there. I think he just wasn't rolled. He was kind of rolling off the banking all at the same time, not really on the flat right there, and the car kind of gets light as it rolls off the banking off the corners.
It's just another unpredictability of this race.
Tyler Reddick pits.
Still going.
Sure, good. It came off. Speak up if you got a problem.
Hard to believe Reddick is still on the lead lap after everything he's been through today. Now, earlier today, 26 cars piled up in the big one, and we've got a radio remix from that event.
Watch the top. And he wrecked us. I can't see you. Let me know what you got. Yeah, I'll see you in Texas. What happened? I don't know. Will you push to 23 or if he jumped up and got clipped? We're done. But I got left rear, right front, small back here in the front stretch. 10-4. Get it fired up, bring it back around. Coming to you in reverse. I hit a lot of things, but nothing super hard.
Suarez, another one. Hard to believe he's still on the lead lap after what he went through there.
I don't know. Driving your car back to the pits backwards, I hit a lot of things, but not too hard. That has Talladega written all over it.
Yes, it does. Riley Herbst has had quite a day. A couple of speeding penalties. Penalty for passing below the double yellow line. But 2 laps down, he's 24th. And his teammates 1 lap down. Michael McDowell had a big up and down day. Spent a lot of time making repairs to that car. Last car running in 32nd place.
That might be the biggest in-car sticker I've ever seen.
It's one of them. Oh, the one on the
door
padding
right there.
on the door padding. Yeah. Well, pays to advertise and buy in-car cameras. 1 to go. So we are not at overtime. It'll be 3 laps to go in regulation. 188 laps, 500 miles. Hocevar will have 2 Chevrolets behind him. Buescher's Ford will have 2 Chevrolets behind him.
Yeah, there's 7 of them in the top 10 right here. So strength in numbers for sure. But I think we're at the point where it's...
Your friends are where you find them,
That's right.
100%.
3 Fords in the top 10. Buescher, Smith, and Priest. The first Toyota is Bell in 11th.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Buescher, you're expecting those Chevrolets to try to pounce on you, right? I mean, he is up there by himself with Smith back in 7th and his teammate in 8th. But he's got a really fast car, and he's in the right spot.
Alex Bowman just told his spotter, tell the 3, I don't care where he pushes me or how much he pushes me, just push me.
Okay. So where do those Chevys go? You've got a Ford, you got Hocevar out front, but the rest of that pack, how do they gain ground?
I think right now, if I'm Stenhouse, I want to push that 17. I feel like he's a good car. I want to put myself in a position to where I can make a move, and you know that you've got enough Chevrolets around you to make a move, to have somebody most likely go with you.
And if you're that lone wolf in the Ford of Buescher, that's how you win this race. You put them in a situation where they can only better themselves by pushing you. The trick is keep mindful of the gaps. You know they're going to try to create a gap and come running on you in the closing laps. But for a lap or so, I bet you they try to stay right where they're at.
So if Stenhouse can push that Ford far enough out front that he can make a move, everything could change. It'll be 3 to go. When they come to the line, they're in the restart zone, and green flag waves again.
See that bottom lane a little bit unorganized down there right now, but first two cars are hooked up and pushing, and the pushes are going to be as hard as they have been all day.
3-car train up top. Dillon did not get to the back bumper of the 48 as Bowman requested. Still a little gap there.
Yeah, but they haven't got detached yet. The problem is they've got 3 cars connected on the top lane.
More than that, that energy's with the top lane.
Now Hocevar edges ahead from the bottom.
Make that thing wide, Chris Buescher.
Alex Bowman latched onto Hocevar.
Yeah, and as you look at Stenhouse right there, getting that side draft, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, they see that.
Whoa!
Big pushes on the bottom row right there. You see the Hocevar car get to those bumps on the back straightaway, and Bowman releases him right there, getting ready to get to the point where these guys are going to start taking chances and pulling out.
Hocevar's got to be mindful. Don't get out too far. Those gaps, they're dangerous for a leader.
And now the outside lane has the energy. White flag is waving. It'll be 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank.
You just never know how the energy is going to build right here. See the 17 car not quite clear of Carson Hocevar as they enter the middle of turns 1 and 2.
Stenhouse right on the door of the 48. Here comes some energy on the outside. Elliott, Stenhouse, watch this.
Really big push right here. Guys on the bottom aren't really connected, but that 3 car is going to get to the back bumper of the 48.
The 9's going to create another situation for this outside. He's coming on him.
Long ways to the start-finish line still.
Hocevar edging up on the bottom. They're 3 wide. Priest, contact, 4 cars into the wall. Leaders coming to the line. Number 13, first-time winner, Carson Hocevar. Carson Hocevar, the Hurricane from Portage, Michigan, becomes the 2nd driver to end.
Thank you. Thank you. Chili, Jeff, Tyler.
Hear a lot of emotion out of Hocevar on the radio right there, and you see all these cars torn up just after the start-finish line.
2nd driver to earn his 1st career Cup win this season. Ty Gibbs did it at Bristol. Hocevar at Talladega.
Man, you deserve it.
2nd career win for Spire Motorsports.
Always fun. You never forget your first win. Luke Lambert on the box. Known him for a long time. Been in this sport a long time. This kid, he's been knocking on the door, as I said earlier, and I knew his time was coming.
He did exactly what Luke Lambert said he needed to do. Keep yourself in a position. Be smart. Let yourself have a chance. It's going to be a popular win with these fans.
He's aggressive, he's energetic. Folks have compared him to a very young Dale Earnhardt.
Chili's going to be busy tonight.
He's quotable, he's promotable, and he's what, only 23? What a career this young fella has ahead of him. "23 cars finish on the lead lap. Some of them in a basket. And we'll go back and take a look here what happened. Here's the win.
And you see those lanes just got broke up right there, and he had enough of a lead to put himself out there all by himself.
Stenhouse got out there 3 wide, got away from Buescher. Here's how it unfolded.
It started with Austin Dillon and Zane Smith. Zane Smith got to his inside. It really deteriorated all that line. Austin was forced to try to make something happen on the outside. You knew something was going to happen, and Zane going for it really started that.
Priest and Van Gisbergen part of that.
Spire Motorsports, they've been bringing the speed to these racetracks, qualifying well, finally punched their ticket.
And all but did the exact same thing at the Daytona 500, just came up a lap short with the exact scenario that he had today.
Here he is. NASCAR's newest winner.
Let's get down there.
He's got something up his sleeve right here, Clint.
I think he's wanting to drive it.
He's wanting to hang out of the window and do a burnout, but I don't.
No, he's wanting to drive it sitting on the door. I think.
Maybe.
That's what he was. He had it running.
Well, Alan Kulwicki created the Polish victory lap for his first win. Carson Hocevar wanted to do something memorable for his first victory.
He better stop. We're going to hit the wall.
Not too sure about this, but hey, it's his show.
He's got it figured out now.
There we go. Now we got it.
I knew it.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be cool.
I'll bet you Monday there'll be a new rule. Well, better to be a rule maker than a rule breaker. That's what DW always said.
Absolutely.
How about this? Remember at Richmond one year when Earnhardt's windshield got all covered and he sat on the windowsill, drove the car and wiped the windshield. Larry, you remember that?
That's a moment. That's cool.
Sat there just about like this during the race, under caution. Climbed back in the seat, put the belts back on, got back to racing because he didn't want to make a pit stop and go to the back. Well, this beats all. I hope by the time he gets to the start-finish line and our cameraman, he figures out how to stop this.
That could be the problem. We couldn't figure out how to get it going.
Just shut it off. Do it with the ignition.
Yeah, pretty cool. Being able to sit like that with the...
But that's why you like this kid.
Yes, he's a thinker.
Always thinking outside the box and doing something different, paving his own way.
What a way to celebrate. That's unbelievable.
I don't know that we can get it stopped, guys. There we go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, shit.
And a burnout.
Well, that's a Talladega win right there.
Remember where Ricky Bobby went at the end of Talladega Nights?
Chili's.
Yeah. Regan Smith, how about this?
Well, Carson Hocevar, since you've come to the Cup Series, you've done things your own way, and I'm just going to start with this victory celebration, kind of your own way right here.
Yeah, I feel like every time I've ever, just see the crowd, I never really got to hear them. I've had this thought up for a while, and I've messed it up every which way to not be able to do it. And I don't care if it took 20 minutes or whatever, I was gonna figure out how to do it. It took me a while. I'm out of breath. But I'm so thankful. This is the biggest dream I've ever thought of. Thank you, everybody. I couldn't have done it in any better way. Hopefully my grandpa's watching. My grandma died last year, so I'm so thankful that I can give my grandpa a trophy now, and wish my parents were here. But all thanks to Jeff Dickerson. We rode the dead day today, that's for sure. And I gotta wear some heat waves. Everybody's here. I mean, just unbelievable. I'm just so thankful. Thank you.
As you're going down the front stretch coming, you can see the checkered flag in sight. What are you thinking? Are you just hoping that you got the run, or what's going through your mind there?
I posted on Instagram that I didn't really care we were gonna win, and we won. So I'm just so thankful. I knew we were gonna win. I really did.
Carson Hocevar gets his first career victory at Talladega.
And NASCAR has a new superstar and fan favorite. Oh my goodness. The Hurricane hits Talladega. What a victory celebration. We'll be back with more after this.